Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ReelTok, episode 111. This is our fun yearly Halloween special. So if you are watching this on YouTube, you will see that our cameras are off as tradition. And then in a little bit, give me like 2 minutes to intro this episode, and then we will reveal our costumes. But welcome back to another episode of ReelTok. My name is George Carmi. I am sat alongside my beautiful co-hosts, Mr. Cam Walsh 27, Mr. Tyler C. Whitmore, and Mr. Seth's Film Reviews. We got a fun episode for you today. Sorry, I'm speeding through this intro, but I really want to see what you guys are wearing right now. Seth and I are going to talk Smile 2. We got a Q&A. We got some fun drafts for you, horror related. And then as always, we're going to wrap up with some news, some trailers, some fun discussions. But I'm too excited about these Halloween costumes. So what do you guys want to just count down from 3 and then turn our cameras on?
I think we do it one by one.
Oh, you want to do it one by one? Yeah, let's do that.
I'll go first.
Well, how do we do it in the past? Okay, yeah, one by one. Fine.
All right, let's start with Seth.
I don't think we've ever done cameras off in the past.
Yeah,
Are you ready?
No, we did every year.
We did.
Yeah,
we do every year.
done it
We did
every
every
year.
year.
I'm going
Every
crazy.
All right, we'll start with Seth. Seth, what are you dressed as?
I am me. Yeah.
Seth
I
is
love it.
dressed as Seth,
But,
the Yankees fan. Seth.
hey,
Tyler,
going to the World Series.
going to the World Series. Tyler,
Massive
we will
Yankee.
move over to you. What are you dressed as? 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Rizzler.
The Rizzler.
It's the Rizzler.
Bram Stoker's Dracula or Nosferatu, either one.
Throwing the
Love
makeup
that.
Got the teeth.
is
I
incredible.
love the makeup. The makeup's electric.
Yeah, shout out
That is
Riley.
good.
Shout out
That is
Riley.
good. I like it. I like it.
Cam.
I was wondering
What do
what took you so long, but the makeup makes sense. Oh,
What are you dressed as?
Wait, who is that though?
so it's a
Are you
generic
Craven the
Ned-
Hunter?
Generic Ned Stark. It says
Oh.
the Northern King. This is a Brad Walsh costume that I found in his closet. Thank you,
Oh, that
Dad.
is so fucking
I
funny.
like that idea, George. Cam, just say you're Craven the Hunter and just like Sharpie on some abs and just
Yeah.
you're now Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I'm Aaron Taylor Johnson. Incredible.
Not
I just
bad.
watched Game of Thrones though, so it worked out.
That looks very hot.
Oh, it's warm.
right.
It's warm. The gloves are coming off shortly.
And last but not least, I am turning my camera on for my costume.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
nice.
Is
Yeah.
that Obi-Wan? What did
It's Obi-Wan. Victoria, I want you to know this. Victoria just asked me, "What are you dressed as?" And I said Obi-Wan
yeah.
Kenobi. And then she
Okay.
said, "Wait, I thought you were dressing as a Jedi," which almost made me call off our wedding.
Incredible.
'Cause
I love
that
it.
is abysmal. Hold on,
does
let me
that
get back-
lightsaber light up?
Dude, it's supposed to light up, but I'm stupid and couldn't figure out the battery situation.
Hell yeah.
So-
Is that like a politically correct lightsaber? Is that just clear? Like there's no color to it?
Oh,
like it's
no.
There,
there's
it's
no
supposed
charge?
to light up, but there's no. I don't have batteries in it, so it's not like.
what would it have been? Is that a red or blue or green?
So they were
Good guy or bad guy?
I think there were 2 or 3 that came in this Halloween costume package I got. So I think they're all different colors. So yeah, I don't know what this one would have lighted up, but beautiful. I love it. Love that we're all.
I don't know
Looking
how long
sexy.
I'll have the wig on. I'll be honest.
I was gonna say
Nah,
it's
you gotta
already
keep
getting
it on,
getting
man.
warm.
I'm locked in.
It-
We're all
it's
locked
got a
in for this.
I respect it.
it's
I
getting
really
hot
do.
as shit in this apartment. All right, well, let's get our episode going. Like I said, we got some fun stuff today. It's just Seth and I on Smile 2. I don't think Tyler or Cam watched it. Sadly, you guys should watch it.
Hell
They're
no.
scared.
Mid. Emma wants to see it.
They're romantic comedies. You should
That's all
watch
I've got for you.
it. Seth, we'll start with you because I want to hear some London Film Fest thoughts. Obviously, don't give true reviews of the movies. 'Cause
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah,
do that when it all comes out. But how have you been? What have you been watching? How's your move going?
Yeah, so different location. We're moved. Moved in on Thursday when I wasn't even here, so that's good. And then like today, it's just been like boxes and moving. I hate moving shit. Like it's just terrible. So that's been like a massive stress. I actually like missed out on like 2 of my films because I came home early yesterday on Saturday instead of Sunday, which is a bit annoying. but
Bird
they
and
went-
what was the other one?
It was The Room Next Door, which I was actually really looking forward to, the Pedro Almodovar one. But yeah, so I was at the film festival all week, which was great. Saw a lot of great people that I always see. A lot of people who came up to me saying they love the podcast. That was a very frequent occurrence, which was really, really cool. Watched a bunch of films. I did get a chance to check out Smile 2, as George mentioned. We watched that on Friday, which we'll obviously touch on. Yeah, I mean, so what I watched, I'll start with the ones that I don't think George watched. Actually, George, you might have seen it because I know Sophie watched it. Okay,
I ended up missing 2 screenings, I believe.
Okay.
So my end load was a little smaller than usual.
Okay, so Half Truths, which I know Sophie watched. Kevin watched. Really liked that. That was great. We had a Q&A with Mike Lee, which was really, really cool. I really enjoyed that. I think it made me cry. A lot of stuff made me cry at Film Festival this year, which was nice, which was always cool. I checked out Nickel Boys, which is interesting. Some people around me didn't like it. I know you didn't like it, George. It's which I understand because it's very like, I mean, I said this after I watched it, I can't think of another film that uses POV to that extent and for that amount of time as well. I really liked it. I thought it was really good, but I get why people don't like it because it's very much it's hyper focused on telling its story the way it wants to tell it. It's a very individual thing, and if you don't buy into that, you're probably going to have a long 2.5 hours or whatever it was, which I get. That's the thing, and it's like there was a Q&A with the director beforehand and the cast that was really cool. But yeah, it's quite middling. I think most people I know liked it, but I didn't watch it with many people. But there was a couple of people who weren't as big fans as me, maybe. Watched the next day we watched A Real Pain and Nora. A Real Pain I liked, actually probably more than I expected, I guess. I didn't love it by any means, but I think it does what it wants to do and tells what it wants to tell. It's a little bit messy. I think Kieran Culkin is really good, actually, and really funny. It was interesting because I think a lot of the films I was expecting to be really sad, and a lot of them were some of the funniest films of the year as well, namely A Real Pain, Nora, Hard Truths, even Queer at certain points as well. So yeah, A Real Pain liked, Nora loved. That's in my top 7 of the year, I think, so far. That releases soon, doesn't it, Nora? I think quite soon.
In limited.
Well, it's out right now in New York City and LA, and then it's out everywhere in a week or 2.
So very limited. Okay, so I'm assuming we'll do an episode on that, so I don't want to go into much detail.
For sure.
Saturday Night, man, not for me. It
was a sad score.
That was our surprise film though, as well. It's
oh, you saw that at the fest? Not
that was a surprise.
I thought you just went in between.
No. So it's not even out until January here.
Sheesh.
Yeah, crazy. So basically, they do a surprise film at the fest every year. So last year was Ferrari, which is quite a big one. Obviously, Michael Mann, whatever. When you like it, you don't. And this year, there was a lot of rumors. We were thinking maybe it's Robbie Williams, maybe it's Wallace and Gromit. George, watch Wallace and Gromit, by the way.
Dude, I got shredded for that tweet.
It's so good. I thought it was going to be Baby Girl or even The Shrouds, because I thought they're going to have I mean, no offense to the guys who did Saturday Night, the guy who did it, he used to have a really strange filmography, but a Cronenberg, or even I can't remember what the other one was. Now The Brutalist. I don't think it would have been because it was quite late tonight, although that would have been amazing. But Saturday Night, it's such a weird film to pick in an English festival as a surprise film, Because SNL, I know it's massive in the US. I don't know anyone who watches SNL,
Yeah.
I know it's not directly about SNL, and that's not the point.
In fairness, I don't know anyone that watches SNL in this country.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was fair.
No. I mean,
it used to be massive.
Yeah, people watch it. No, just no one.
I think now everyone agrees that they have one gem once a season. They'll have something funny.
But it used to be if you wanted to be big in comedy, you had to go to SNL. Nowadays,
yeah. I guess it's more the case than I didn't know the people in the film, whoever they were representing, characters, whatever. Night Bitch, which I fucking hated. That was a miserable hour 40. I was on my watch, what? I thought it was going to end 12 times. It was it's such a Facebook mum film. It's the humor is from a bad sitcom that you'd seen a Saturday night you've never heard of before. You just switch on Hotel. I was expecting, right? George, you've seen American Werewolf in London, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay. you know, the big transformation sequence, which is like really famous, whatever, the
Yeah.
pretty practical transformation sequence.
Mhm.
I was at least expecting something like that, you know, when she turns into the dog, but it's almost like skipped over. Like it's so bad at the transformation sequence. The early reviews were obviously saying, you know, there's a lot of like body horror elements. It's really not. Like, it's very limited in its body horror usage. It's honestly just kind of just, I don't know, man. It really didn't work for me. Amy Adams has been on like quite the run recently. It's fair play to her. It's miserable. So We Live in Time, didn't love We Live in Time. However,
sad.
However, obviously it's going to work for you, George, more than me.
Yeah.
You know, spoiler. But you know what it was? I think it was the fact that because I cry quite easily in film, and I was expecting to cry a lot, you know, and it didn't make me cry. I was like, oh, it was good. I didn't like the first half very much. But I do think that I think for me, I wouldn't have liked it if it wasn't Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh. Like, I think they elevate it massively. Andrew Garfield was there, and he did they did a Q&A prior with a Florence Pugh cardboard cutout, which was weird.
I like that.
That was funny.
That was funny.
Yeah. I think she had like scheduling issues or something. But he's like so amazingly spoken. He was speaking about the film, about kind of grief and how we tackle it, and then also remembering people, and it was amazing. It was really, really good. Film didn't love, but you know, everyone around me did. That's cool. The end, fucking crazy. People are gonna hate this. It's so it's a single location musical, post-apocalyptic musical.
Dude, is this the one with Tilda Swinton?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I saw the synopsis, and I saw it was a musical, and I was like, all right, like what about this was that Seth loved it? And then I see a 2.8 average, and I was like, okay.
Tilda Swinton and
then I see Tilda Swinton, and I was like, there it is.
No, the thing is, like, I like musicals, and also I don't actually think she was the best part of the film, to be fair.
Is Mads Mikkelsen in that one as well? Who am I thinking of?
No, so it's George McKay, who's like 1917, Pride. It's Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon, that's who I was thinking.
Yeah, Michael Shannon, who's fucking so good in it. He's so funny.
Okay.
And it's essentially about like so it's this family who lives in like a bunker, right? Post-apocalyptic, energy services down. It's very much they have to live there. They live in this like salt mine. They lived there for years. Like the George McKay has lived there for his whole life. Really rich family. And then like someone gets there somehow, and it's like their lives been interrupted because someone new was coming to the fray. And it just really worked for me on like every level. I think the musical notes were like silly, but whimsical. I think it was a really devastating film, and the acting was brilliant. I loved the sets, and I loved the fact it was sort of single location, just in sort of select rooms and areas. It's got a 3. I think I bumped it up to a 3 with my 4.5, honestly. But people around me, like most of us, really liked it. There was a few of us that were like, 3, 3.5, but there were a couple of 4.5s. It's very much like one that's going to work for you or won't. Like if you go down the top reviews, it's like 4, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1. It's the same sort of shit. Like, so it's, it just really worked for me. And then the last film I watched at the festival was Queer, which I fucking loved. It's my 3rd favorite film of the year so far. I adored it. I think Daniel Craig is my favorite performance of the year. Well, favorite performance, I guess, male lead performance, whatever. I think it's amazing. I actually think it's higher right now for me than Challengers. Actually, 3 and 4 of the year. I loved Queer. I think it's a beautifully, beautiful look at human affection. It's, I would argue, probably Luca's most inaccessible film yet of his career.
That's my very worst nightmare.
I don't know if it is, George. I think you'll like it more than Challengers. I came out saying that. Like, it's actually, no, I think you'll like it a lot more than Challengers. I'm actually going to call it right now. I think you'll like it. Like, it's not, it's very dissimilar to Challengers. Like, he's gone from, they're both like, okay, so they're both, as I did in my review, I think they're both like very sensual masterpieces in their own right and do a similar thing, but they're very different in tone. Like, Queer is very relaxed, very sort of melancholic for the most part. The music's very downbeat. It's got these kind of, basically they said so it's set in Mexico City, but they filmed in Sicily, and they made it look like an old school Mexico City. Jason Schwartzman is so fucking funny in it, and I had no idea he was in it going in. He's hilarious. He's great.
I just found out Jason Schwartzman was in that movie.
Well, I don't know if you even see him because he looks very different. He was so good. I loved him. And it is just so fucking powerful. I think it's beautifully elevated by its performances and its score. Like the score, for example, perfectly. Obviously, it's done by the same guys who did Challengers. Nothing alike. Nothing. Like I came out and I told Anna that, and she was like, "Oh, was it techno?" I was like, "No, not at all." There's a really cool Nirvana. What's it called as well? What's the word?
For what?
Needle drop.
Needle drop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool Nirvana Needle drop. But Daniel Craig, so good. Really, really beautiful film. My favorite of the festival. Again, similar. Like most of us loved it, or like a few of us loved it. Couples around 3.5. I know Sophie, I don't think loved it. It's my favorite of Luke's films so far. I adored it. I think I should go up to 5 and rewatch. It's very, very close to being. And then that's kind of it, to be honest. I watched Smile, which we'll touch on. And then Terrifier 3, which is fucking shit, as expected. You know, my Letterboxd.
Dude, those movies have such a crazy cult following. It's insane.
They're horrible people. George.
It's insane.
Like, my comments are so bad on my Letterboxd.
Yeah,
review.
dude, people love those fucking movies. I haven't gotten past the first. I can't watch 2 or 3.
I get it. Like I do get it, and I think this would intrigue me more because like a kind of Christmas theme. But this one it's just the same thing. It's just like it's gonna work very well. I just thought this one might have a little bit more, but I actually disliked this one more than I disliked 2, which says a lot because I didn't like 2 at all. So yeah, I'm not gonna do that one. But yeah, it says like my favorites of the festival. It was Queer 4.5, Anora 4.5, The End 4.5. We Real Pain 3.5, Nickel Boys and Hard Truths both 4s. Night Bitch was a 1.5. We Live in Time was a 3, and Saturday Night was a 2. So yeah, good festival all in all. Going away. What? Which one?
Just We Live in Time being lower than like a Real Pain.
Hey man, Sophie rated lower than me. Take your
so crazy.
I don't know.
I will. Ratings are. I'm seeing so many 4.5s and 4s, and I'm seeing like 3s and 2.5. So it is a more polarizing film than I had anticipated.
I saw it with Remy. Like I was sat next to him, and also we were on the front row, and like I was like,
yeah, I mean that's annoying.
Yeah, it was horrible. Although I got to see like Andrew Garfield in like touching distance.
Yeah, really close.
Yeah. Like when I watched it, for example, with Remy, I looked at him after, and his eyes were like he was like crying, like he fucking adored it. So it's very interesting. Yeah, going away this week, so I won't be on next week's episode, unfortunately. But I thought I'd try and get on this one, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. It was a good week.
Sweet. Well, clearly a successful film fest. Hella 4.5s and 4s and 3.5s. Way better than my New York experience, which I'm jealous of. Cam, we'll jump over to you, Mr. I already forgot what you're wearing.
Ned Stark.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. I'm Ned Stark.
Jokingly say Craven, but I thought that was correct.
Nothing really. Not a big week of watches. I watched The Force Awakens. I watched The Last Jedi, which is
Great
like
tweet,
one Canto Bite scene away from like maybe the best Star Wars.
I agree.
I like Canto Bite sucks. Don't get
the worst sequence in any Star Wars movie.
Do not get me wrong.
No,
it is so bad.
Not any.
So bad.
Yeah, it's
genuinely I can't think of a worse sequence. Maybe except for like somehow Palpatine returned in that whole conversation.
That's a bad one. I watched Age of Ultron just because like I've been like vibing with some Ultron like edits on my TikTok, just a lot of them coming through. I'm like, yeah, I'll turn it on. I watched the third best Batman movie, George.
Yeah, you never told me which one you watched.
What no, Dark Knight?
Under the Red Hood is the third best Batman.
No,
yes,
Phantasm is better.
Phantasm's good. Phantasm's good. It's right there, but no, Under the Red Hood's better.
Phantasm is so good.
That's about it. Not a whole lot this week. Been very busy with the house and just with life and everything like that. So not a whole lot. And when I do watch something, it's something I can turn on in like the background if I'm working or doing something. So yeah, not a ton, but that's all right. Sometimes you need we did start Hunting of Hill House as well. So like my nighttime watches has been filled with that. And yeah, just a spooky good show, man. Good show.
It'll never not stun me that you can watch Hill House and not
then you
watch.
can't watch
Like
any
I
of the
think Hill
films.
House is so much scarier than like most
is.
horror
It
movies.
is.
It's
It
scarier
is.
than
Don't get me wrong.
95% of modern
Yeah,
horror.
It's
like
so much
genuinely.
better. 99% of horrors. Like
You don't know. You won't watch the ones we recommend. Like the good ones. You won't even watch them.
I think, Hill House was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And I think after we'll go with the like Fall of the House of Usher and then maybe Midnight Mass. Like those are good shows, man.
Oh,
need to
don't
watch
don't skip Bly Manor. Like
Bly
that.
Manor's
Come on.
not good. I stand
Bly
by
Manor
it. I
is
think
good,
I've always
man.
Bly
always
Manor
had
is
this opinion of
good.
Bly Manor is just not very good. It's not awful, but it's not. Bly Manor is the horror that like I just don't care to revisit because I don't love it dearly.
I've held up this opinion for Haunting of Hill House, and I think the more I watch it, the stronger I just believe it. I think Haunting of Hill House is like the best horror project ever. Movies, TV.
It might be. You might
claim.
not be wrong, man.
It might be a bold claim, but like genuinely, I think it is that fucking good. Like
Yeah.
the Bent Neck Lady and Two Storms, those two episodes are two of the best episodes in television.
I'm watching
assuming it's your favorite
Ben Neck Ladies
series.
next. We've gotten through the first 4.
Yeah, Bent Neck Lady, dude. First time Bent Neck Lady I saw fucked me up for days.
Oh yeah.
Is it
Messed
your
me up.
favorite limited series, George?
Yeah,
Ever?
yeah, for sure, without a doubt. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, like True Detective season 1 comes close. When They See Us comes very close.
Does that
Chernobyl
count?
comes close.
True Detective?
It's more of an anthology, but yeah, I would consider since
I don't
each
think it's a
season.
limited series though. That doesn't
Really?
count. That doesn't count.
There's
It's the
new
same as
seasons coming out, not very limited.
yeah. There's plenty under.
Yeah.
It's like a
It's like 5
franchise.
seasons, yeah.
There's like 5
5
seasons.
Yeah, I
of
mean,
it.
it's
I
an
think
anthology.
you're cheating. You're cheating. You're trying
I
to
mean,
get
I
your,
could take,
you're trying
like,
to get your
American Horror
limited series
Story.
list bulked up a little bit. What if? Because what if
I could
like
take like
season
American
2
Horror
were your
Story.
favorite? If like season 2 were your favorite, you wouldn't put it in the limited series.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I
Just
mean,
saying.
you're right. Fair.
Being that
Sorry.
guy.
Pardon me for
It's okay.
throwing that one out there.
It's all right.
Cam,
Just
you
do
mentioned
better.
in our Patreon review that if Michael Myers is standing in an alley, you wouldn't be scared of him. What about Top Hat Man of Hill House?
No.
What?
The Boiler Hat Man.
Yeah.
He's the scariest person in any movie or show. The idea of like that Boiler Hat Man, like just being like
Just floating
standing
around.
behind, watching you. Yeah, terrifying. That's
You
why.
wouldn't be scared of Michael Myers? On an
No,
alley in
that
a-
was extremely taken out of context. I said Michael Myers would be less scary in an alley than Freddy Krueger. I think if you were in an alley and across from the alley was either Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger, you would choose Michael Myers.
Tyler, how did you get that? that
That's what
conclusion?
he's it's fake
I
news.
think
Putting his
because
agenda.
well then George is like what? Like he's a unit. He's built like a fridge and
Yeah,
has a knife.
he is.
Why you wouldn't be scared of him?
Dude,
No,
he's
no,
a refrigerator. Also, it's
Yeah.
funny because the episode we're referencing isn't even dropped at the point of this episode, so everyone's
Yeah.
gonna be like, "What the fuck are they talking about?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
stay tuned
please
for
let
that.
me know. Please let me know. But I stand by. I think if you had an option, you'd choose Michael Myers because you can convince yourself that maybe you have a chance to beat Michael Myers because all it is a guy in a mask with a knife versus Freddy Krueger is like fucked up face, hand knives. Like there's a problem. So I think.
I'd be terrified of both, though, to be fair.
Oh, I agree. I'd be terrified if it were like Elmo.
Yeah, both.
In
of
the
them are
dark.
fu-
What about Chucky? Cam, would you be scared of Chucky?
Nah, I'd punt Chucky.
We
I'd
are
punt
punting Chucky.
Chucky,
watched-
Chucky is not scary.
Chucky is
Chucky's
not beating any like relatively athletic or strong person over the age of like 13. Okay, fuck
Yeah.
those movies.
I agree.
Chucky is a
I
piece of shit bitch, man.
I agree.
Chucky, my ass, Chucky. My mom's 14
Russell
pound
from
dog.
Up would beat Chucky.
Yeah, Russell from Up would beat Chucky. I think Bailey would beat Chucky right
I
now.
agree.
Chuck-
I agree.
Chucky's a fucking bitch, man.
I
All right, Tyler, how you doing?
It's been a good week. No travel once again, so exciting. On Thursday, Riley and I went to like this like Hans Zimmer tribute concert thing. It's called like Candlelight Events or Candle something, but like they're in a bunch of major cities in America and they do all kinds of stuff. Like you go to like an Adele night, a Taylor Swift. There's plenty of different things and covers they do, but this is like a Hans Zimmer tribute. It started with it was like 4 people. Started with Time from Inception, and then went through some stuff from like Madagascar, Lion King, Pirates movies, Interstellar, the Batman movies, did the Wonder Woman themes. Kind of went through like his whole career, Gladiator, and just kind of did a bunch of scores. So really fun, really cool night. Just like it was at the Phoenix Zoo, and there was a bunch of people. I didn't really know what the vibe was going to be. I was just like a Hans Zimmer cover, but like we showed up and like, yeah, well, like there's like an amphitheater at the zoo, so like it was just like because they had like a concert stage with a bunch of seating. And it, like the zoo closed at like 4:00 and the student starts like 8:00, so it was like not
so
really
like monkeys weren't like sat with you.
No, they were all, I don't know what they do in the zoos, like tranquilized or whatever and boxed in a cage, some horrible thing. But no, it was a good night. Fun. People were like dressed to the nines, which I was really expecting. I dressed nice. Like I wore like a polo and just like pants, but people were like very serious. I was like, damn, I thought this was like a casual like Hans Zimmer tribute. It's not even the Hans himself, but people were dressed seriously. So it was a fun night though. Other than that, watched just college football yesterday. It was a pretty solid day, Cam. I don't know how much of it you were watching, but good games, good stuff. Purdue played Friday night. And
I watched most of it. Oh, I didn't watch Purdue. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm still not watching.
Are you at the point with Purdue where it's like you don't even pay attention at all? They're just so far gone.
Yeah. I checked it. I keep up with the score, but I said it earlier on the pod. I haven't watched a Purdue game this year. I don't plan on watching a Purdue game this year. I don't even know what school that is, to be quite honest with you. They have been, that school is, it's a basketball school. I don't even know.
We're
sick of them.
What we saying?
What is worse for you this year? The fact that Purdue's 1-5, or the fact that Indiana's 7-0?
Indiana being 7-0, probably. It's the hater in me. It's the hater in me. At the very least, when we're 1-5, normally IU is like 1-5 as well. Because normally they suck. Like they don't even. I don't think they even care, but they care this year, obviously. But if they suck, they don't really care. Normally we can beat them. We're gonna get slaughtered by them, and that's fine. But I think the hater in me says it's worse that they're 7-0.
Cameron.
Yeah.
Cameron. Did Indiana play last Saturday by any chance?
Indiana has played, this Saturday, last Saturday.
I watched them last Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah. That's Cam's enemy.
Because I have a friend. I went to his to see. He like has been like up and down in America. Like he was there for a few months, and he got really into college football. And I went to watch boxing with him before it started. He had like some college football on, so I was like, oh shit,
college football's great.
I had no idea what was going on at all.
I also have not watched an IU game until yesterday, so I was very much on the like they're not good, their strength schedule's soft, which it is. Don't get me wrong; like they haven't played anyone outside of Nebraska, and even Nebraska's not like great. But they spanked them, so they're a good team. I will.
I think if you beat any team in the Big Ten 42-7, it's like I'm impressed.
They spanked them for sure. I think
their coach wins me over. I like him.
Do they have Michigan or Ohio State? They have one of them this year, and that's their only hard
Ohio
game.
State.
Okay, they'll get spanked by Ohio State, I'm sure, or maybe not beat that badly, but they'll get beat, and then they probably won't make the college football playoffs. But they're a good team.
Mm-hmm. Wisconsin's existing in the area this year where if they were a pro team, I would hate. Where like they're not good enough to be like contending for anything, but they're not bad. Like they're above average. Like they're a 2-loss team. Whereas like if you're a pro team, that sucks. Is like if you're not going to make the playoffs as a pro team, you want to be just the worst. You want a good draft pick. Yeah. But college doesn't really matter. So it's like they're fun. I saw in the Football Power Index rankings they're in the top 25 now. So maybe they'll surprise me, but we'll see. But that was fun. But then for watches this week, watched the Platform 2, Seth. I was a little behind on that, but yeah, it's basically just like a rehash of Platform 1, except more spiritual in this, like having kind of more like a guiding hand, trying to get the whole. I don't know. It's just it wasn't different enough from the first one for me to like feel like it warranted a remake. It's kind of weird because like first the Platform 1 was like one of the most successful films from Mexico, I believe, like in a hot minute, especially on streaming, like because it did crazy numbers on streaming. Yeah. So I'm sure like immediately they're like, okay, we got to make a sequel. Weird that it took this long though. They did want to greenlight a sequel because like this.
When did the first one?
Clearly doesn't look like that high of a budget.
2018, maybe.
Something like that, like 5-6 years ago. But like it doesn't seem like it'd be that hard to make this movie. And whatever sets you built for that, I'm sure you could just roll those out and use the same exact sets for this one. But I give it a 2-star, maybe a little harsh on it, but I was just like, whatever. Watched Wimbledon, which I liked. It's like a corny, cheesy romance movie, but something about it I just really dug. I really liked the chemistry between Kirsten Dunst and Paul Bettany. Hilarious, like tennis action in this movie. Just because George, I texted you about tennis. I've been watching a lot of tennis these past 2 years, and I don't think I've seen once anyone dive for a ball ever. And in Wimbledon, the movie, it's every match is like nothing but back and forth, like diving. Like that's all it is. I'm like, okay, I don't know. I feel like the director never watched tennis, and all of a sudden he's like, wait, Wimbledon's played on grass, so they can wouldn't hurt to dive. So every shot in that movie is diving for balls. Like it's hilarious. I love it.
Nice.
But low-key, some sauce in some of the shots. But the tennis is less a focus than it is in Challenge. I'd say it's a lot more like just the romance of Paul Bettany, which obviously like Challengers has a lot of. Yeah. That's a focus too, but I'd say like Challengers, like minutes wise, has more tennis action.
Yeah, Wimbledon is just a rom-com that just happens to have tennis every so often.
Right, it's basically just like the best female tennis player and like the old best male who's like now kind of washed, but they get romantically involved. And they're like both doing really well, and they worry their romance is gonna ruin things. The dad is like trying to be like, "Yo, like stop distracting my daughter. She has to win," which he was right. She ends up not winning Wimbledon, so. And the guy ends up winning. Spoiler for Wimbledon from 2001. But so low key, the dad was kind of right.
Yeah,
screwed over Kirsten Dunst. But watch Phone Booth also right after that. I see a lot of my mutuals really like this movie. I just didn't. It's Joel Schumacher's film from 2002 with Colin Farrell, where it's a one location film where he basically just like picks up a phone call in a phone booth, and a guy's like, "If you leave this phone, I'm going to shoot you and kill you." Just one of those gimmick, kitschy plots, and. Yeah, just didn't care at all for anything that was going on. Just the stakes never felt high, and it was just Colin Farrell was great, but just it just didn't work for me. And it's one of those that like the gimmick is so central to the plots, the whole movie. I mean, it's just like gonna get shot if you leave the phone booth. So if like that doesn't pull you in, and it's just not gonna work for you as a movie. Rewatch Aliens. Still,
don't
Aliens.
Skip over it.
Get him.
One thing I will say is people were like, "Oh, trying to be different now or whatever." Like the switch up's crazy. Which, like ReelTok episode 1, like I was early on like Aliens hater. I've always been a 3-star Aliens guy. So I say the same. I didn't try.
Aliens is great, by the way. Sorry,
Aliens is great, and I didn't like how many people agreed with you on your tweet, Tyler. That was.
I was kind of surprised too, honestly.
Too many people replied with like you're kind of cooking, like
cowards.
No,
cowards.
I remember like
cowards.
Best take.
Yeah, because very early, like Riley and I watched Aliens for the first time on a whim, like right before ReelTok starts, like over 3 years ago, and like we loved it. And then I was like, oh hell yeah, there's a bunch of these movies. Let's jump right into Aliens. Like we loved Aliens, so we jumped right into Aliens. We're like, bummer, not what we were looking for. Which to be fair, like it's just like James Cameron went for something totally different. But I was like at the time, I was like, I'll give it like a 3-star. I don't really care for this. And then rewatched it 3 years later, and still the same. I can see why people would love it though. Finally, Log Lehen. So like Cam and I reviewed that on Patreon a couple weeks ago, and I just was way too lazy because I promised, like, because I was like so sick in the episode, I was like, I'm gonna write a longer review for that because I felt bad that like my voice is so bad I didn't want to talk. So if you're waiting for that on Patreon from a week ago, that's up on Letterboxd now. House of Gucci. Like I'm slowly trying to get through Ridley's because I imagine for Gladiator 2, which is the best movie of all time according to friend of the pod Soups.
No, but did you know, Tyler, that it has visuals, sound, and costumes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm happy that guy's getting clowned because everyone was quick to like hate on Soups. It's like that guy deserves even more hate.
Yeah, Soups.
He's an actual critic.
Yeah.
Dude,
Soups is just that guy.
Senior awards editor at Variety.
Variety.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's like they're like the people that do like actors on actors and like they're legit. But
no, he does the roundtables.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah. I've seen it on the thing.
What's the favorite sound from your film you had this year? It's just crazy, man. But yeah, House of Gucci is like kind of like the consensus by most people, like worst or one of the worst Ridley Scott movies. I didn't hate it as much as a lot of people did. I gave it a 2.5, so I'm not like praising it. I just kind of watched it and it just like happened to me. I was like, oh, it's fine. I don't really care for it. Jared Leto's performance is so bad. Like it's so. It's one of those that, like I didn't know how bad it was going to be, and then I saw it. I was like, this is so great. It just takes you out of the movie so much. So whether it's good or bad is one thing, but it just completely takes you out of the movie because he's so over the top bizarre. And I thought Al Pacino was pretty bad too, but like Jared Leto is so ridiculous next to him that like Al Pacino seemed fine. But it's just ultimately another biopic that felt a little overly long. And I feel like the most interesting plot point is like the end result of the movie that happened in the final 5 minutes. And that happened. I'm like, oh, this is intriguing. And then I'm like, oh, it's over now. But let's see what else. I'm still trying to get through all the Ridleys though. I watched The Apprentice. People commented saying like we're not watching as many new releases as we used to, and I'm trying to take feedback to heart. I'm trying to crank out new releases. I was trying to get to more. I really want to see A Different Man.
Same.
So I'll get to that. But I watched 2 new releases this week because I'm trying to listen to the audience. They say want to hear some more thoughts on new releases. So I saw The Apprentice, liked it, 3.5 star. I thought it's a movie that I could see pissing off both sides, honestly, because director Ali Abbasi, like, I feel like going into this movie, people thought it was going to be like this insane hit piece, which is definitely like makes Trump not look good at all. And it's definitely a very critical film of him, but it's not like as hardcore as I was expecting going in. Like, it definitely didn't. Like, he elicits a lot more empathy than I'm expecting for both Roy Cohen, played by Jeremy Strong, and Donald Trump. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. He's not like fully just hammering on the hit piece. Then same side though, it is critical and like enough of like very bad scenes that'll make him look awful, where like obviously people that are Trump supporters are gonna not really like the film. So I can see it like bothering both sides. As people are anti-Trump, wishing it was a little more anti-Trump of a film. But I think it was a really interesting lens to take to not really be super strong. He had a more objective lens than I expected. But Sebastian Stan's great. He kind of starts the film as like not very Trumpy in his impersonation, and then by the end of it, he's like full on like mockery Trump impersonator. I thought like the gradual progression of that as the film went on was really interesting. Jeremy Strong, it's very similar to Vice with Adam McKay, where it's like, yeah, it's a movie about Dick Cheney, but like Donald Rumsfeld, played by Steve Carell, is kind of like the more devious, interesting character to follow. It's kind of like that, and that's where Jeremy Strong was like the more interesting character is Roy Cohen to like follow, and Donald Trump is kind of, he was there, but I was more interested in Jeremy Strong. But yeah, it was like Vice and Succession blended together, and I think the end result was good. It's 3.5 star. Sebastian Stan really is just kind of crushing it lately. I think he's just really great outside the MCU. He's fine inside the MCU too. Not saying anything about that, but I think he's building quite the career for himself.
He's good.
And then is her name? Is it Mia or Maria? Maria Bakalova. Yeah. She's fine, but like she's as Ivana Trump, but she's like, yeah, she's fine just because she's like not. She's barely in this movie. Like, she just does not get much to do at all in this movie. So for what she has to do, she's fine, but she doesn't really get much. But yeah, interesting film. Again, releasing it right before the election. I think everyone kind of assumed like, oh, there's going to be just like mega Hollywood hit piece to like ruin him before the election. And again, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of scenes in here that make him look awful. But I don't know. I was expecting more of a hit piece. So I thought Ali Abbasi interesting.
He is all.
Exactly.
Shocker.
But I thought this was going to be like,
crazy.
I don't know. I thought this was going to be almost like full on, just like a roast for an hour and a half, Yeah. Piece by Piece that I watched, which is a Pharrell Williams biopic, which I liked more than I expected. And I gave it a 3 star. Weird. Obviously, everyone thought it would be really weird to make a Lego movie for your biopic of your life. And it kind of works. Because like Pharrell obviously like makes film or a lot of songs for like Despicable Me and like all these like kids movies and Disney shows where it's like, makes kind of sense that he's going to do something more catering towards kids, because I feel like this biopic is very thin in terms of like it's not very hard hitting or doesn't really dive too deep into his life. It's more about like his career progression, and I feel like it's like a cool idea to just do that in a Lego verse and like make a movie that's kind of just like inspirational for kids to watch and be like, oh, I could, a movie, being something like a producer or a singer, something that's so out of reach and impossible. So watching this movie might uplift and inspire some kids. So I thought it was a interesting choice by Pharrell, and I think it kind of worked out. And I thought it was a fun movie.
Is there a Frankenstein scene in it, Tyler?
Frankenstein scene? Like, what do you mean by that?
Where he goes like, "It's alive."
I don't recall that, but
what?
Yeah, could be.
Okay, that's weird because we had like, I don't know, George. You know when you were at New York, do you have like a trailer that plays before each film? There's like a show reel of clips and stuff. We kept getting like a Frankenstein Lego bit, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
It very well could have. Like, the movie's definitely like an ADD brain movie where there's like a lot happening the whole time, but the soundtrack bangs. Like, it's just nothing but catchy music by both Pharrell and other people. So like good soundtrack. But yeah, Pharrell Williams, cool dude. I guess I don't think there's anything out about him, right?
Yeah,
There's no nothing.
It's tough to
No
say.
Pharrell allegations.
Nah,
Well,
not that
maybe
I know
one
of.
day, but right now I think we're still Pharrell's good. So hopefully I'm not wrong.
It
on
is
that.
safe to assume everyone's got allegations.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
screw Pharrell. Rewatch 12 Angry Men, kind of just like it is a perfect movie, and then watch I Hate AI, which fun little short
did you
film
watch
from.
that?
Yeah, I mean it was like 2 minutes, but I'd like to say I was on the cutting edge of being a Blumhouse hater. People were saying, "Oh, they make Get Out." No, Blumhouse, they've always been op, and now everyone's finally waking up.
It is crazy how
Their
their
bombs.
reputation, he's managed to bring their reputation even further down than it was already. Like, that is
Right. It used to just be, they've been making some bad films the past couple of years, which is like, whatever. That's like poking fun of them. But now it's like fully embracing AI with open arms. Like, man, this is like disaster class PR 101 the past couple of years for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, that's it for me.
Yeah, not a lot for me outside of outside of what I've been watching. I was in Charleston last weekend. I recorded last week's podcast from Charleston, but we did that on Friday. Saturday and Sunday was kind of just 2 relaxing days in Charleston. Victoria and I went to babysit my sister's dog, like I said. So we were out and about, walking around. My sister dropped us a bunch of recommendations on like restaurants and just things to do. So we were just kind of taking the dog for walks, hanging around Charleston, hanging around town. Nice dinners. And then
Did you have a Charleston Chew, George?
A what?
A Charleston Chew?
What's that?
They're candies.
I don't know if you remember. When you last went to Charleston, you said you went, and then I said, "Did you have a Charleston Chew?" Because they're like sold here in all the American like sweet shops, and you didn't know what it was.
Oh, I still don't.
So no candies. They're just like old people candies. Like they're very old people candies. It's all
a Charleston Chew.
I mean,
I think they're. I'm pretty confident they're.
It wasn't very nice. It wasn't very nice when I had it. So maybe you missed it.
But yeah, the rest of Charleston was fun, and then we came back Monday, and I didn't have off Monday, so I had to burn a vacation day, which was kind of annoying. But we got back early and just kind of spent the Monday evening just relaxing. We watched that new. Did we watch that Monday? I don't think we watched that Monday. Actually, I was going to say It's What's Inside, but we had watched that the previous weekend. But Monday we just kind of spent just relaxing, getting ready for the work week. So then we had a short work week, which is always nice. We're kind of getting to that period of work where it's like end of year reviews and like goals and expectations for the following year. So it's just like very annoying stuff at work while also trying to like balance work. So just a bit busy at work, but nothing too crazy. And then outside of work, we went to the screening of A Real Pain, which was cool, at the Museum of Modern Art. Jesse Eisenberg, Kieran Culkin, Emma Stone was there. Second time I've seen Emma Stone in that room, which is crazy because I've only been in that room twice, which was for Kinds of Kindness and A Real Pain. So I thought that was funny. I don't like that theater very much. The seats are very uncomfortable. It's in like the basement of the MoMA, so it's like it's uncomfortably like hot and suffocating. And the screen is just small. But cool to say you like went to a screening at the Museum of Modern Art, I guess. The movie itself, I enjoyed A Real Pain. I don't think I liked it as much as I expected to. It's a 100% just a me thing. I think like that Kieran Culkin, Jesse Eisenberg, very hyper, very sarcastic type of comedy. Just, it's funny. It has its moments. I'm not going to tell you I wasn't like laughing my way through this movie, but it does get exhausting after a while, especially Kieran Culkin when he's just very hyper. Hyper is the word that just keeps coming to my mind when it comes to Kieran Culkin. There's like, this might get shit on by people in our comments, but there's a reason why he's like my least favorite of like the Succession main character bunch. It's just because I can only stand his like very fast, sarcastic, hyper type of comedy for so long. But the movie's cool. It's obviously very personal and it's very sincere to Jesse Eisenberg and his experiences and kind of this story he wants to tell and this picture he wants to paint. So I definitely think I'm going to be in the minority with like a 3-star. I think it's going to be a very highly rated film.
What does it have now, actually, out of interest?
It's got to be high, right? It's got a 3.8.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's very high. My friend's rating is much higher than that. But yeah, again, it's like there's nothing offensively bad here. I think there are some fantastic intimate moments. I love Kieran and Jesse. I love the way they play off of each other, and they're at their best when they're not being overly comedic and sarcastic. There's a few sequences, especially like Jesse Eisenberg has a monologue at a dinner table at one point. They have two. Yeah, it was a really good scene. Jesse and Kieran have like two very intimate conversations on the roof of a hotel, which I really liked. But I think it just all boils down to one, just the type of comedy, like that very like speedy, sarcastic type of comedy. Two, I think Jesse Eisenberg as a writer can fall into the cliched category a little bit. And that's not against Jesse Eisenberg. I think that just clearly shows his lack of experience. This is only his second movie he's ever written. So as a sophomore outing, I think it's great. But
was the other one Vivarium? Did he write that one?
No, he didn't write Vivarium.
That
movie,
yeah.
So I'm glad that
movie's ass.
Okay.
It's
I really like him as an actor though. Like I've never
like him as an actor. He's fantastic. Like I think he's genuinely good. I know a lot of people are like Kieran Culkin's the standout in this movie, which I do think he is. I think he's the better one, but I think Jesse Eisenberg is right there. But yeah, good movie. Good movie. I really enjoyed it. Victoria and I watched Jennifer's Body. Movie's so good, man. Movie is so good. The entire time that movie was playing, I was just like audibly saying, like, this is insane. This is so good. I had such a good time with that. The more I watch that movie, the more I pick up on like its true meaning around like the complexities of the female experience and exploitation and that kind of stuff. So just really good movie. Prisoner of Azkaban, I keep returning to it, man. It's so good. It's like a year ago, if you asked me the best Harry Potter movie, I probably would have said Deathly Hallows Part 2. Now it's Prisoner of Azkaban. I don't even think it's that close. Right. Yeah, I don't even think it's that close.
Join us.
Victoria and I watched You're Next. I like the movie. Victoria didn't really enjoy her experience. But I think it's a really unique and like unpredictable and kind of just silly home invasion movie.
The one with you recommended me that, didn't you?
Yeah, I told you to watch it.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I think it'll be on par for you for like The Strangers, you know?
I've seen it. It's better. I think it's better.
Oh, you have seen it.
I watched it like ages. You recommended it. I gave it 3.5.
Okay, I forgot. But yeah.
It just good.
It's not reinventing the wheel. It's not doing anything special. It's just a fun home invasion film with an all-time final girl. Obviously, I'm just on the Rob Zombie train recently, so I watched House of a Thousand Corpses, which I recently learned is the first movie of a trilogy. The second movie is called The Devil's Rejects, and I think the third movie is called Three from Hell.
Yeah, I didn't like any of them, but I also haven't watched any of them in a very long time. So
dude, I really House of a Thousand Corpses it's just so like Texas Chainsaw Massacre coded, where it's like it's so uncomfortable, it's so gross. It's hard not to like praise the design and the practicality of it all, and it's just so fucking scary, man. This movie makes me think Rob Zombie really likes roller coasters and really hates Disney adults and tried to figure out how to merge the two whilst shitting on Disney adults. But it was good. I definitely recommend a rewatch on House of the Thousand Corpses, Seth, if you didn't like it the first time. I don't know. Again, a year ago, I don't think I would have liked the movie, but I think my like taste in horror has changed. And I really enjoyed my time with it. Halloween 2. I'm not rewatching. There's no way I'm revisiting the Monsters.
I didn't see it.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 I rewatched, bumped that up to a 5. Major, man. That movie is so fucking unbelievably good. It is so gruesome. It's like the violence I want to see in a Halloween movie. Paired with the psychological torture I want to see in a horror movie. And I think it just all merges and meshes so well. We watched The Nightmare on Elm Street, which Cam and I will discuss for our patrons on Friday. Probably my hottest take of the week. I did not like Michael Haneke's Funny Games.
That upset me.
Yeah, it upset a lot of people. It upset me, dude. I was really excited. Obviously, like you give it a 4.5. Sophie gives it a 4.5. I think all the Looks Like a Movie boys rate it very highly. So I was so excited going into it. And I don't know, man. I get it. I get this is Michael Haneke just basically saying fuck you to the audience. The fourth wall breaks. They're just like, I didn't find them clever. I just found them like so self-indulgent and annoying.
They are self-indulgent.
Like I like saying this movie is so on the nose is stupid because that's the point of the movie. But like, I didn't like it. It didn't land for me. I thought the movie was creepy. It kind of gave me the same feeling I had watching Angst, which is another movie about a serial killer home invasion. But yeah, I don't know. It's such a tough film to criticize because my criticisms are the point of the film. Like the movie is meant to be self-indulgent. The movie is meant to be aggressively on the nose. It just didn't work for me, unfortunately. I really wish it did. I know Michael Haneke, what I found out, remade his own movie. I at first thought the other Funny Games was a sequel, but it turns out they just wanted to make an American version of the film, and he was like, "Well, it's like not good."
No.
Really?
It's tough because it's like, so he remade it to perfect it, and it's also the issue for me with the remake is it's very much the same, but he wanted to perfect some certain shots, like tiny differences. But it's exactly the same. But the reason I don't like the remake as much is because it's Tim Roth and Naomi Watts, so it's kind of, I almost want it to be these kind of unknown actors. So if
they're too recognizable.
Like it's too like easy. Maybe to be fair, some people like that one more though. So maybe you.
I mean, listen. I'm gonna take a look at it. I'm gonna watch it. I don't dislike Funny Games because of its content, because of what it's trying to like, because of like the horror that Michael Haneke is trying to infuse in this movie. I don't like what the movie stands for, I guess. Like, which is again, like the movie's meant to be self-indulgent. It's meant to be just so aggressively on the nose. But like it just doesn't come together for me well. So like the horror of it all, the home invasion aspect, I really don't mind. But yeah, like I said in my Letterboxd review, the movie is just kind of parading around torture, and it just gave me nothing to really reflect on, which I didn't really enjoy. Smile 2, Seth and I will talk about, which I'm very excited about. And then I watched the third best Batman movie, which is Mask of the Phantasm.
That's second.
That's the third. The Dark Knight's 1, the Batman's 2, Mask of the Phantasm is 3. Scooby-Doo meets Batman is 4.
I need to add that to my rankings, actually. If we're getting that, yeah, I need to add that. That's crazy.
And then last night, me and my friend watched Sinister.
Was that your first watch? There's no way that was your first watch.
No. That was probably my first watch since I've had Letterboxd, but it was not my first watch. I don't know if you guys took a look through the rundown, but I did change we were supposed to do a draft, 10-round draft, 2 horror movies per decade. I changed that to just drafting the scariest horror movies, because after I watched Sinister, it really made me want to kind of see like, what do you guys find scary compared to like what I find scary? Because I shit you not, man, I was hugging a pillow last night watching Sinister. That shit is so fucking scary, dude. Like the whole concept of just home videos about the home they're living, dude. It was so fucking scary. The lawnmower scene gotta be top 3 jump scare ever, man.
It's tough though, like I like the idea. I don't know, because I've always said this, George. When something scares me, I'm not like that sort of guy. Like nothing scares me. Loads of films scare me.
Yeah, this movie
never scared me. It's never
so
scared
crazy.
Me. It is, because it's like I'm scared by fucking loads of films.
Yeah,
I watch Sinister. I've tried it again and again. I'm like, this is the time I'll like it. I just don't like it. I don't know what it is. Honestly, it's Ethan Hawke as well. So it's like
that's okay. That's what I was gonna say. It's like I think this is one of his better performances. Like he plays like that obsessed artist so
great.
well.
Yeah, great.
But I like going into the movie, I was like, yeah, this is like widely considered one of the scariest movies. I haven't seen it in a long time. I wonder if the scariness of it is gonna hold up.
Yeah,
dude, it like exceeded my expectations on just how scary this movie is. Like this movie gets my heart racing more than like Neil Marshall's The Descent does, and that movie fucks me up, man.
Interesting, because I think that's really scary. Yeah, The Descent.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the home videos of it, the fact that every home video starts off like happy and then it just cuts.
Yeah, that
to
is
like,
cool. I do like.
Yeah,
that.
like I think that's like that's the scary part of it. And then I don't know, man, like the supernatural being, the Mr. Boogie being in this house. I love how it kind of unfolded as like this detective work, while this like obsessed artist is trying to like make his next great hit. I don't know. I finished that movie and I was like, I'm so close to giving this a 4.5. And I think when and if I rewatch it over the next couple of weeks, I think it'll be that 4.5. I really do. That whole, I mean, I don't want to spoil it just in case people watch it, but like the way that whole final act unfolds with the daughter, dude, that shit is so fucking scary. Oh my God. I was literally hugging a pillow. My friend was like looking down, looking up, looking down, looking up. And I was like, yeah, this is fucking frightening. I mean, give it a rewatch. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. Like the movie, like even beyond the movie being like, it honestly kind of bothers me that this movie has the reputation of being the scariest movie ever, because I feel like then people are like, oh, you know, it's just really heavy jump scares and like there's no actual story. Like, no, like I think there's like something really cool here. Like this obsessed artist, he's trying to find his next hit. He puts his family in danger by moving into the house of these prior murders. And then obviously he just like descends into madness while his daughter is like being like haunted by this Mr. Boogie, and you know he's trying to uncover these tapes, and like he keeps, it's like I think there's something cool here. It's not just like this. Obviously there's a lot of jump scares, which I'm not usually attracted to, but I think they're utilized so well in this movie, especially with the home videos. But even like most of the home videos like aren't even jump scare, like they're just fucking creepy. Like like the bodies being pulled into the pool and drowning, the car explode, like it's so like it's so uncomfortable. But yeah, that's what I've been watching. Seth and I just mentioned Smile 2, so we're gonna get into a quick Smile 2 review. It was just the two of us, so we'll obviously start non-spoilers. And then we'll get into spoilers. Let me pull up the quick synopsis. But if you've seen Smile 1, you kind of know the synopsis already. About to embark on a new world tour, global pop sensation Sky Riley begins experiencing increasingly terrifying and inexplicable events. Overwhelmed by the escalating horrors and the pressures of fame, Sky is forced to face her dark past and regain control of her life before it spirals out of control. Just Seth and I. So Seth, will obviously start with you. My first question for you, Seth, is why are you lying?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
That's so crazy, man. This movie is
I
so
didn't like,
much fun.
I mean, I didn't hate it like I did the first one. There's I think this is better, you know. It's a difficult one because it's like I love the idea of these films. I love the idea. I just don't like the execution. Saying that though, I think this one it's tough. First of all, I think the first half for me is significantly better than the second half of this, apart from the final sequence, which I like because it's just cool shit. Liking the final sequence of the third one, it's just kind of crazy. I think what's her name? The main Naomi Scott.
Naomi Scott. She's so good,
she's
man.
Cool. She's really cool. Really liked her. I really liked her a lot, actually. I think the opening to this, kind of the opening sort of 30, when it's establishing, you know, we've got a character who's going through recovery, who can chug a bottle of Voss like nobody's business. Crazy.
Insane, dude. Insane.
I could do that. I'd be like running to the toilet all the time. It'd be crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, impressive. I think that kind of the established, I don't know. My issue is with a lot of these horror films, I'm quite bored of the use of trauma and the affliction towards it, and it becomes a balancing act of what are we trying to do with the trauma, how are we trying to do it, and I think it gets very tiresome. Like for me, this film is very it's done well, but it's very predictable to the point where I just know every beat. I don't think that's always a negative, but I think with this it was. Some of the opening scenes I think were really, really good. Like, I won't spoil it yet, obviously we'll go into that. The first scene with Lucas, well, the only scene with Lucas Gage, really. I thought he would be in loads. I remember seeing him like in the market. I thought he'd be in more.
Yeah, I thought he would be more connected to Naomi
I did.
Scott's character.
I did, yeah. So firstly with him, I think it's really cool. I like the establishing shots of the opening smiles. Do you know what it is for me? It's like what I think It Follows does really well is it kind of pulls it before it gets too absurd in a way. Like I like these films are kind of, I think they are quite funny, and that is kind of the approach they have. They are selfly ridiculous. Like we saw it in the trailers, this isn't a spoiler. Like the scene where she's in her apartment with like the dance group and there's like loads.
Yeah.
For me, that
was
gets
so scary.
That's what I'm saying. I don't find that a bit scary at all. Because that gets like too, for me, that's like too, I don't know. It Follows does such a perfect job of this kind of, they're very similar in terms of how they establish themselves with their shots and in the creepy moments. What It Follows does so well is it almost pulls back a little bit before it goes too much.
Yeah.
And what I like in Smile is the sequences where it's literally just one person who's just like there. So like,
but I think my counter to that is this entity, whatever the smile may be.
Yeah.
It kind of adjusts itself for its victim. So I think the whole dance group in the apartment makes sense because a big part of Naomi Scott's character's trauma is like how overwhelming and suffocating this life of a pop star is.
Yeah. No, of course. I just think like it makes sense. Like I'm not saying it's like a bad idea. I just it's for me, it's either two ways. It's either go completely ridiculous and kind of delve into as much as you can, or in terms of like me and what I find creepy, I guess it's like I'm trying to think of a particular scene from this without spoiling it.
Like a creepy scene or a non-creepy scene?
A creepy scene.
I mean, the one with Alfredo when he's in the apartment.
Yes, that was cool. Where he starts running at her.
Yeah, that shit fucked me up, man.
Yeah. That sort of thing's cool. When it's like really quiet and these really small singular moments, and it's kind of that they're almost holding back from the way. Like in that sequence, runs at her and then bam, quickly, someone's in her apartment and then whatever, and it's fine. And then she kind of almost, wakes up, so to speak. I think that it does a good job of showcasing it, like you said, in terms of the obvious notes are pop star of stardom. She's in recovery. She struggled with everything. She struggled with them ongoing pushing from her mom, who's basically like her manager, whatever, who's pushing her nonstop. She's got everyone around her. Like she's struggling with the responsibility, especially she's just recovered and then she's coming back to it all, and that she's about to do like a world tour. So it's obvious, the impact it's going to have on her and her life. And I think it showcased that well. I'm just kind of, I don't know. I also think this is too long. I think this could have been like a quick 140.
I was surprised to see it was 2 hours and 15 minutes. I will. Yeah.
I think the first one
it gets a bit out of hand.
Yeah, like I think there's just stuff you can cut off. And I think there's some scenes that I just didn't care for. Like it's very few and far between that I like some. The scenes I did like, when you've got this one, I think is a lot more bleak than the first one as well. Like, I think this one is like horrific at times, more than I maybe expected. Okay, for example, shit. Have you got
wait,
Tyler?
Hold on. Let me give my non-spoiler review, and then we'll get, because I want to talk about that too. This one does get like very gruesome at times Naomi Scott's character's backstory. So let me give my non-spoiler thoughts very quick, and then we'll dive into spoilers. I like both Smile movies. I know a lot of people are saying this is like wildly better than the first one. I don't think it's any better or worse. I think I gave both of them a 3.5. I really like this. Our good friend K Meeks said in his TikTok review, like, just drop one of these every year. It's fun, like popcorn horror entertainment, where you can just go into a theater and experience this with a large group of people, and just it's fun. Like my theater was so animated, like there were people like audibly being like, "Oh no, don't do that, turn the lights on," or just people like ooh, like stuff like that. Like it was fun.
I was in a cinema. I want you to guess what the capacity was of this screen I was in.
Oh God.
Yes.
4.
Okay. It was like it was the smallest screening room I've ever been to in my life. It was a very independent, like near us. I think there was only us 3, like me and two of my friends, and then 2 more people at the end of the row. And there was probably room for about 15 more.
Oh, that's tiny.
Like, or 20 more at most.
Oh,
it
man.
was tiny. But I was really close to the screen, so it kind of, but I didn't have the like a reason I like Barbarian is a perfect example. When I went to see that,
Yeah, that's a
it
good
was
one.
like packed.
Yeah.
It was so fun, you know. I think maybe I liked it more, but I didn't have that. Like,
Yeah, I think that is a big part of these like this movie. Like, yes, they're talk. There's things on trauma and fear and just living an overwhelming lifestyle. But I don't think it ever like dives past the surface the way like maybe more horror films dive into the human experience, like It Follows, like you said, like I said all the time, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Like, I think this is just a very cookie cutter horror movie about trauma. It's not going to like open any meaningful dialogue. It's going to provide you with fun 2 hours of scares, of gore, of gruesome with a fucked up like final 20 minutes. These aren't horror films I'm going to revisit. They're not horror films I'm going to be like, oh, I'm really going to want to watch Smile tonight. But like, they're very just like in the moment theater experience. I think these are just so much fun. I think like utilizing a smile is so fucking creepy. I think the horror really works. Excessive amount of jump scares, I will say, which is, I think, what kind of holds my rating back a little bit. But I do think the jump scares are utilized so well. Like when she does first turn on that closet light and her whole dance crew is there smiling, that shit was scary. When Alfredo was naked in the hallway and then he all of a sudden just starts running towards her, that was cool. Fucking scary. But even like the non-jump scares really fucking scare me. Like, we'll save them for spoilers because the one I was about to mention does get into spoilers. But I ended up at a 3.5. I'll wrap up my spoiler-free talk here. I ended up at 3.5. I really have such a good time with this. I do think one thing that slightly holds back my rating from being a 4, and it's the same thing that holds back my rating of like the subsequent Scream sequels, is just how much of like a copy and paste it is of the first movie. I love that they obviously changed the aesthetic, they changed the cast, they changed the type of trauma our female lead is experiencing. So it is its own unique Smile film in ways, but it does just kind of follow like, beat for beat, kind of the same structure as the first Smile film, which again, I'm a fan of the first Smile film. I know you don't like it. I know a lot of people don't love it. It's not like one of the most highly regarded horror films out there. But I do enjoy. I think they are fun popcorn flicks. Tyler, if you're still listening, can you toss up that spoiler tag? But there it is. Hell yeah. Well, let's get into spoilers. I don't think there's a lot to spoil, but there are just bits and pieces that I want to talk about. But the first thing I want to talk about, which I was just alluding to, even like the non-jump scare horror moments still fuck me up. Like when she's in the car with her friend Gemma, and she gets a call from her friend Gemma, and we find out that Gemma like hasn't been like that shit scared me, dude. Like that version entity of Gemma was like sleeping in her bed, talking to her throughout the whole movie. Like that shit frightened me. And then even what we were talking about earlier, like the backstory of Sky Riley, how she was in a car accident, like that was I didn't expect this movie to like dive into that PTSD and that trauma so heavily. Like we get an entire like 5-6 minute sequence of them driving, getting into this really bad fight while they're driving. The guy who was driving snorting coke while he's driving, and then and then Sky Riley like freaks out, grabs the steering wheel, they fall. You see her snap the leg, his face is demolished.
That sequence, like
that was so out of the blue, like, heavy.
Also, don't hate me, George. I hated that scene in the car. I'm sorry.
Why?
I hated it.
I just don't like. Did you hated it just because it was a bad scene, or you just don't like?
No, I just thought it was like obvious.
I mean, you knew it was coming, obviously. Like we find out almost immediately that she was in like a life-changing car accident. I did not think we were going to actually.
Oh no! I like that scene. I mean the with her friend when they're in the car at the end. Near the end.
Oh, I mean, it was obvious because the same thing happened in the first movie with like the therapist. Like when the therapist came to her house and then she gets a call from the therapist. And then it was very obvious, but like still, like it still was like, fuck, that's so scary, man. Like I didn't know they were actually going to go there.
No, yeah, so I like throwback sequences where like you said, so after she gets in the obviously made like a while after, but when she's in the car accident and it showcases in like segments and it keeps going back to it.
Yeah.
The sequence, like you said, when she's looking down at her leg, like her bones popping out of her leg, and then she looks over at the I can't remember his name, the guy, and he's just like
Paul Hudson.
Yeah, and he's just like fucking dead. Like, that was like really, really bleak. And you look at some of the kills in this as well. Obviously, we're in spoilers. Like, for example, Lucas Cage's character, when she goes over to his house and he kills himself with a 45-pound plate, just smashes his face in.
The worst. Crazy. That's an insane. I couldn't look. I had to I genuinely looked down.
That was like it. I think obviously the last one, was very brutal and it had sequences like that. I think they really upped the ante when it comes to like the bleakness and the brutality of this one. Even I think they kind of have to, if you're dealing with what you're dealing with, especially when it comes to like the trauma and the chorus, but showcasing in the way they did surprised me. It's kind of a positive way, but it was false. Like, it was kind of disgusting,
Yeah. I mean, listen, that's what I'm saying with these movies. Like, give me one of these every 1-2 years, change the cast, change the aesthetic.
What would your ideal thing be? You know what I mean? Like, your ideal
like smile movie?
Yeah, because I'm trying to think about it. Like, there's a few.
Like if they made a Smile 3. Okay, wait. Can we talk about the ending first?
Yeah.
Before we get into the potential for Smile 3. So the ending is crazy to me because so the guy that was like, okay, I'll kill you and then bring you back to life. He obviously was not real, right? Like, he was clearly not real. So the whole final act unfolds and she ends up on stage and her mom is back alive. Her friend Gemma's in the crowd, blah, blah, blah. And then she kills herself in front of the entire arena. So is the Smile entity attached to every single person in that arena now?
Yeah, I was thinking that. I mean, I guess if you're thinking logically, yeah, because they've all seen.
Yeah.
They've all been in the vicinity.
Also, I was
the sequence of the big the whole entity.
Yeah,
kind of crazy. That for me, that's
so scary.
Because it's such a cop out. Because even if I think how they use it is shit, which I didn't, to be fair, but I like that. I think the practicality and the work that goes into developing this fucking behemoth is kind of cool,
Yeah,
and I like sequences like that. And I think that's kind of even though I knew that ending was coming, I didn't mind that ending. And I think it sets itself up quite nicely. And I think that when you have again, it goes back into that brutality, and it kind of, I assume that's going to be an ongoing thing where it ends. They're all going to end, if they continue making these, and I'm assuming they will, in a similar fashion with the entity, coming out and being all.
Dude,
whatever.
Just keep it going. I love the fact that these don't have happy endings. I really do love that, which sounds fucked, but I absolutely adore the fact that the entity wins is 2-0 right now. The entity's winning every single time.
Is it making money, this film? I'm actually going to check.
Honestly, I don't know. I really liked, I don't want to skip over this scene before we talk about the potential for Smile 3, but I really like the scene when she's in the hospital and the entity takes over her mom. When her mom's talking, starts smiling, and then the entity just snaps at her. That scared the fuck out of me. And then she runs over, the entity kills herself, runs, and then Naomi Scott runs over to the door, lifts her hand, and obviously I knew it was coming. So this kind of unfolded in the first Smile with the cat, right? Where she unknowingly killed the cat. They kind of upped it here and ended up making her unknowingly kill her mom. But I was also
differently as well in the eye.
Her mom, dude, fucked up her mom. But also I was confused. Did that really happen? Because obviously then at the end of the movie, her mom's at that concert. So that kind of, that's what I'm saying. Was her mom there? Was she really at the concert? Who did she kill her for? I don't know. I think this one opens up a lot more questions than the first one, but not in not necessarily an ambiguous way, more in this kind of bothers me kind of way, which is another reason why my rating is not a 4 on this.
The scene that I thought was really cool was that so the scene where what's his name, the guy who's in her apartment, when he first like meets her. She's doing like a meet and greet. Alfredo, is it? Yeah. So she's doing like a meet and greet, and then he comes up to her, real stalker mentality.
Real
but
dude.
Then she like, shout like get off, whatever, and then she goes like have a bottle of Voss and have a chill, whatever. Then she comes back, and the next guest is like that fucking creepy little girl who is just that's cool. She's smiling and like walking towards, and that's like so creepy to the point where I was just like laughing. So she's smiling, walking towards her. They're taking the photo. She's just like staring into her eyes, and then as she's walking back, she's like an owl. Her head just like turned, smiling, walking back. That was quite funny. I like that.
Nah, I would have punted that bitch so far, dude.
I like those moments. I like those like quieter.
Yeah, I think another, and I keep harping on, I guess, like the negatives or like just like what's holding back, like why I don't think this is like wildly better than the first one. But this movie, I think the first movie was so consistently haunting, where this movie kind of bounces back from moments of being truly really scary and devastating and more like corny, not corny, but like just more like fun, practical effect type horror. Where like the first one was just very condensed, very small scale, therapist gets fucked up. This is like very larger scale pop star, which by the way, dude, soundtrack bangs. I've been listening to some of these songs just on repeat since I watched this movie on Friday. Absolutely goes. But yeah, I mean that's kind of all I had on Smile too. I mean, there's not really a lot to spoil. If you've seen the first one, you've seen the second one.
What's the next one in like a?
Yeah, I don't know what
Victorian era town. Right? That's what I'm saying. Like really,
make it like a witchcraft movie on like the origin of the entity and then the first person it haunts.
Yeah, like around the kind of
dude. Let Martin Scorsese direct and watch the box office explode.
Give me some like folklore religious male entity, and I'll probably like that. That'll be cool though. Like I think this is the thing. There's a lot to play with. It's like, what was the other film that we had the same conversation about? Shit. There was another. There was like a
recently.
I can't remember. Yeah, like a horror film. I can't remember. But it's like the same thing with like Scream, where there's like, or like people said it about Thanksgiving last year, where there's just different ideas they could conjure. You might not like this one, but you could like the next one because they can kind of just utilize the same concept just in different eras and
just change the aesthetic.
Settings and whatever. So yeah, give me a like a folklore witchcraft religious one. I think that'd be quite cool. But yeah, 2.5 for me, and what 3.5 for you?
3.5 from me. Yeah, like I said, or like K Meeks said, just fun, entertaining, silly popcorn horror. Drop these once a year, and I'll be happy. Change everything. Change the aesthetic. Change the cast. Give me something new, and I'll be sad every year. Like I genuinely think this has the potential to be like the next Scream type franchise. Honestly, this is a little bit like the Evil Dead franchise, where it's like that supernatural entity, and it kind of like changes up like the story between like Evil Dead 2013. I mean, come on, it's the same thing. Evil Dead 2013 and then Evil Dead Rise, the same supernatural entity, just different aesthetic, different cast, haunting in different ways, you know. But no, I think this could be more like a Scream franchise. But that'll wrap up Smile. That was our fun release of the year,
of the week.
Jesus,
of the year would be crazy. By the way.
Of the year would be insane. All right, let's decide this as a group. I know, Cam, you said you're a little limited on time, so would we rather do Q&A first or the draft of the scariest horror movies first?
Do the draft. The Q&A is like very minimal, so
okay.
I'd say draft is better.
All right, so we're gonna do draft.
That works.
So this is dropping on Monday. On Thursday, we're dropping a draft of the scariest non-horror movies. So on this episode, we're just going to do a draft of the scariest movies ever, which someone fact check me. I don't think we've ever done this draft.
I don't think we've ever done this one.
Yeah, like we've definitely done like best or favorite horror movies, but we've never done scariest. And I don't know about you guys, but that is a very different list for me. Like I think like Jordan Peele's Nope, one of my favorite horror movies ever. it would not come close to like top 20 scariest horror movies ever for me.
For sure.
So very different lists. Seth, Cam, George, Tyler. That is the order.
Shit.
So Seth, what's your 1-1? What is the
Oh,
scariest horror movie you have ever seen?
I don't see when I think of scary horror films. I think there's like 5 or 6 that come to my mind straight away that have really scared me. But I don't know if I have like a number one per se. So I'll just kind of pick one of them and roll off it. Oh man, it's tough. I'll probably go in terms of on my first watch and just memories of being terrified. I'll probably just go with The Descent. I think that kind of works perfectly.
Oh, no way did you just take The Descent, dude.
I was hoping to get that, but I don't think I would have made it past George.
I think The Descent's scary. The Descent's scary.
Yeah, it's like the scariest movie I've ever seen, probably.
Come on, man.
I mean, it's up there for me, like for sure.
Yeah. That is so disrespectful.
Sorry. Charlie son.
Cam and I's drafts will be interesting. I feel like we can't.
Yeah,
I can't afford for people like Seth to take my picks.
I got a couple scary ones, and I think the scariest that I've ever seen, I've said a movie is scarier, but I'm like confident I'll get that movie, so I'm gonna take the second scariest, we'll say. It's Avengers Endgame. No, I'm gonna go with Hereditary is probably like the scariest movie I've seen that would get picked before it comes back to me.
Yeah,
my second pick will most likely go through the entire draft without getting picked, but I'll still
I'm intrigued.
True to myself.
I
think you know what my scariest movie. I've said it plenty before.
Yeah. I think I know what's coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, it took me a
I
second.
if you want to steal it, that's fine. But I think you all. I know
what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't take Hereditary, I probably would have taken it next.
Yeah,
so
these are both picks that would have been my first 2 picks. So I'm getting worried right now.
I mean, I just watched this movie last night. I think it holds up as genuinely being one of the scariest films I've ever seen, and that is the Ethan Hawke starring Sinister.
I didn't know
that shit. Yeah, that shit just frightens me, man. That movie had me hugging a pillow, frightened for my life. I had to drive home from Jersey City to the Upper East Side after watching that movie. That was a scary commute home, man.
It's fair.
You drove home or you
Uber?
Okay. I was like, since when did you have a car?
No, Uber, and it was way too late, and I was way too scared to take the subway.
Valid. If the Mets make the World Series with the Yankees, is the subway going to be like a breeding ground for violence?
It's going to be a very aggressive place in New York City. Yes.
Yeah, I'd be scared to be out in public.
Tyler's got back-to-backs.
I'm gonna go with The Conjuring just for an easy first one.
Good pick.
And then
that's like top 5 for me as well. Actually,
that movie's scary as fuck for sure.
Such a sick movie, man. James Wan. There's just like so many moments in that movie where you just like buckle in. You're like, oh, we're strapping in for some like a good 5 minutes of insanity right now.
The clap sequence is like
all-timer.
Up there with the scariest jump scare ever for me.
Let's see. I'm between 2 picks now for my next one. And with how thin my draft choices are, I have to pick purely based on what I think has a better chance of getting picked by someone else. And I'm hoping I make the right call and hope the other one gets back to me. But I'll go It Follows now.
No.
That is a great pick. That is
a scary film. I would.
Yeah. Speaking of the clap scene, like the tall dude in the doorway is
all time.
Dude,
one of my favorite shots in that movie is when they're by the pool and half the screen, like it's the camera looking down at the pool. So half the screen is water, half the screen is like the pool deck. And you just see the hand like come into the screen. That shit is so fucking scary, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie.
Am I crazy or is It Follows 2 a thing that's coming out?
It is a thing. It's called They Follow, coming out. Micah Monroe will be starring. Yeah. They follow. So if you wanted more followers in It Follows, They Follows was probably they're probably gonna have a couple people following you.
George, they're gonna do what they did with Smile 2. I'm telling you, man, they're gonna
just the same movie.
Bring there'll be like a whole crowd following you at this point. Just 20 people
from the Zombies movie at that point.
Yeah, at that point,
fuck that was a good scene in Smile 2. So I wouldn't mind that. All right, my second pick, one of the scariest movies I've ever seen is Kiyoshi Kurosawa's Pulse. Yeah, that movie's got some all-time I'm not sleeping forever moments, particularly the one of that woman not crawling. She's just walking and slowly dancing.
She's a professional dancer. They hired her. It's so cool. And that sound when her face like pops up.
That is such good, like, I don't even know if I would call that like techno horror, but like I guess I would, but that shit fucked me up the first time I watched it. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Seth had the first pick of the draft, I put a P in there because I was trying to clip that. The Pulse was really good.
I mean, I would have rather him taken that because I wanted Descent on my team.
My top like 4 has already been picked. This is kind of sad.
I still got a few out there.
This is nice for me because I could pick anything that I've seen, and like half the ones you guys are picking I haven't seen. So it's super easy for me. Personally, other than like Hereditary, I wasn't too worried about any of my picks getting taken. My second pick is going to be what I believe to be the scariest movie of all time, and that's The Nun. Yeah, you can pencil that one in. If I had seen The Nun 2, that would have been my like 2-3 combo. I'm sure. I can't do those movies, man.
When's the last time you had a nun nightmare?
It's been a little bit, but I'm sure it'll come soon. The spooky season is upon us. Like I'll be scrolling through TikTok and get a nun like jump scare like edit through my feed or something, and then I won't sleep that night. So it's coming through the pipeline for sure.
I've been seeing The Nun a lot lately because HBO right now is like a sizzle reel for like HBO has the movies for Halloween, and The Nun is one of like the clips they show. So it's like every day I'm seeing The Nun pop up. So I can imagine if I were you, must suck.
I'm not excited for that. Not excited for that.
Suck.
It does. I will truly not sleep because of her. She's the worst.
Back to Seth.
I will go with what I believe to be the pinnacle of found footage horror, and that is Wreck. Go with Wreck.
Yeah. That movie's so fucked.
Yeah, it's like a jump scare a minute, but they're all fucking great.
Very happy to not see these movies. It's great.
What do I go with here? I'll go with Ring or Ringu, not the
remake,
not the Gore Verbinski remake, the original. I think it's just Ringu. That's really fucking creepy. Like that film a lot. Definitely prefer it to the remake anyway. So I'll go with that. That's cool. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Sure. Shout out our patrons. I remember probably over a year ago now we did a watch along. We watched Ring, the Gore Verbinski one.
Yeah.
And I remember there's a really scary moment like 10 minutes in, and the rest of the movie was like, there's like nothing. Where's the? I thought this was supposed to be like one of the scarier.
Quite different. Yeah, it's quite different. Yeah.
Cameron.
Back to me again. An easy pick for me. I'm gonna go with The Conjuring 2.
I thought you were gonna go.
I think that's funnier than
anything with the nun. It'll get me. So I mean, like it's just a simple, easy route to take because I'm genuinely terrified of that woman.
I thought you were just gonna go The Nun 2, 3, and 4 for the
I
rest
might have to. Like I'm running out of nun media that I've seen, so I might just pick them because I know they'll scare me.
So in the Conjureverse, I've only seen The Conjuring, but The Conjuring 1 has like Annabelle in it, which then gets a spin-off. Conjuring 2 has.
I know it's got like 2 films.
Yeah.
Is Conjuring? Wait, is Conjuring 3 the next one coming out, or is that already?
Yeah, it's The Conjuring.
No, it's Conjuring 4.
The devil was
made me do it.
Or something.
Oh,
Devil made me do it.
The devil made me
do it. Yeah,
It's Conjuring 4. It's not good.
That one's spooky, but not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
All right, Jordan.
The Nun 4 not The Nun 4. The Conjuring 4 is filming right now.
Yeah,
I believe the final Conjuring in the Conjuring universe.
No way. I don't buy that for a second.
Well, I think it's the final with Vera Farmiga and Patrick.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sure they'll make.
I was going to say they're definitely going to keep making movies. All right, my third pick. I'm between 2. I don't think any of them are really going to get. I don't think Tyler's going to take any of these, so I think I'm good on my next 2 picks. I'm going to throw more found footage out there. Seth already shouted out Wreck. I'm going to shout out The Blair Witch Project.
The pinnacle of found footage.
Stop, dude.
No, the worst found footage
Stop. Seth, my dude. Let me tell you
Oh.
something. Let me tell you something. You don't respect cinema the way I do. Okay, all right. Blair Witch
I hate that.
is so. They made that movie on $4.
Yeah, and you can
and-
tell that shit's
and
ass.
never has a movie's setting and location been utilized better to their advantage. They had nothing. They didn't have props, no practical effect. They had one forest and a camera and a lot of people that scream a lot, and they made the scariest movie ever, or the fourth scariest movie ever, or maybe they made the fifth scariest movie.
Top 10 scary movie.
They made a top 10 scary movie.
There we go.
We'll end
There we
there.
go.
It's for sure top 10.
I like that. I like that edit. First try.
Okay,
Appreciate
well, I have one I can go, and I'll go 2013's Evil Dead. So I was happy that got back to me. I was worried George might clip Evil Dead Rise or something. Evil Dead.
Evil
I
Peak.
would consider it.
But now we're struggling here with a movie that I would consider very scary that I've seen that is worthy of being drafted. So we'll just go with yeah, not liking these options much.
I think there are some famous movies that I'm sure you've seen. You could
Yeah, it's just tough to jog the memory of things when I don't have them logged.
There's some scary.
But like I haven't seen The Exorcist or anything like that, so seems
Have you
like
seen
one of
Texas Chainsaw Massacre? That was a good
have
pick.
not.
Oh. Well, you should, because it's peak.
Yeah.
It's the peak.
All right, I'll give myself 10 more seconds.
7.
Oh, okay. We'll go purely because like I haven't seen this since a while, so at the time it was way scarier than the remake. So probably if I rewatched it wouldn't be. But I'm gonna go with It.
Yeah.
But what year was that? Was that like
2017.
2017.
No. Not the remake.
Oh, you're going-
not the remake.
Tim Curry one.
No,
Oh,
the
wow.
remake is so much scarier.
19.
Yeah, I didn't like the original.
I only watched it when I was a kid, and it ruined me.
Fair. That's fair.
Tim Curry, right? Yeah, Tim Curry. Seth
Yeah,
Green in that as
Tim Curry.
well. I'm looking at a list of scariest movies ever, and Vivarium popped up on it, and I'm like, I didn't expect. Vivarium's not a movie I ever thought would come into my mind twice in one day. So interesting day. But yeah, It. You know what? We'll just delete the 1990s so people can interpret it how they want. But it's like in the 1990s.
No.
Oh yeah, you got to be
Let's pick
clear.
one, because I
true.
because
To
I
be
still
fair,
have a
because I think the remakes are bad.
Oh
Okay, that's fine.
no,
Well, even 20.
It's not
the
true,
first
but that's
one?
fine.
I think
Dude.
the second one horrific, but the first
I think
one
the first one I gave like a 2-star.
That's fine.
2017
I think the second one is like,
so
wow.
good, man.
I think
But
the
no, it's still
I
no one else.
think
That one is scary as shit, though. It is scary as shit.
dude, I
So,
love
The jump scare with the
2017.
projector,
Yeah,
Spooky movie.
dude, spooky movie.
George.
All right,
Which It are you taking?
The 2017. It is scary. It's a bad movie, but it is
I mean, that's
scary. It is
bullshit,
scary.
but-
It is scary.
that was Cam's next pick.
Yeah, I mean that's
It's
bullshit.
okay. The
but-
Conjuring Devil made him do it. Can be there.
Yeah,
All right. I mean, I've been talking about this movie like crazy for the last like month, so I have to pick it. I do think it is absolutely fucking frightening, and that's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I mean, I think I said it on this episode alone that this is just this is the violence and the gore that I've been like itching for in a Halloween movie as I like ran through that franchise. It is so fucking scary. It is every time Michael's on screen, I shit myself.
I respect that pick, but it's not. It's no.
It's
no
so
Michael,
scary.
Or it's no Freddy Krueger.
Don't say it. Stop.
No.
Halloween. It is so much scarier than A Nightmare on Elm
Yeah.
Street.
Yeah, but if you were on an alleyway, George, like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You're in an alleyway. You're terrified.
It depends
my
on
next
which
pick.
Michael Myers it is. Depends on the mask. Depends on the
Yeah.
mask.
It's 2000. What year did this come out?
Like 8.
2009. 2000. Listen, let me tell you something right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's scary.
You got 07 Roger Federer. You got 2016 Steph Curry. You got 2020. I'll go 2021 George Carmi. 2009 Michael Myers. That's prime
Goated.
Michael Myers. A 6'6", 280 pound
big.
unit, dude. Fuck.
And his
watching that
mask
movie.
is terrifying as
Big
well.
man.
I'm watching that movie tonight. So good.
I mean, I would have preferred to have the original, or not the original, but the first remake. But I'll take It Chapter 2. I'm not a fan of clowns. I wouldn't say I'm like terrified of them. I don't like being around them. Yeah, not a big fan of them. Don't want to see them in my presence. Like that clown thing that was going around for a while of
that was crazy.
like people on the side of the road
fun.
dressed as clowns.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Like, just if you're dressed as a clown, just stay away from me. I have no interest in being around you.
Nothing against you,
again,
but,
like I'm not like terrified of them, but yeah, just the idea of people dressing as clowns, not my favorite.
you're not anti-clown, but you're just scared of clowns.
I'm just not a fan of them. I'd like to keep them away, and I think we can all enjoy our peace like that.
It is weird how a clown is like children's entertainment because they are fucking creepy.
Dude, shit is so scary.
They are creepy as shit.
They're terrifying.
I don't find that shit funny at all.
Nope.
Oh, is it me? Sorry.
Final two picks.
Ooh, I'll go. Okay, I'll chuck a Lynch in there. I'll go Inland Empire from 2007. Very fucking creepy. Very creepy. Some crazy scary sequences from that. And then I'll also go for. What do I go for? Ooh.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
No. Man. Tricky.
You have to go with Across the Spider-Verse.
I'll go
band.
True. I'll go Host, the found footage from 2020. That has some really, really fucking good scares in it. Some really good
that is a scary movie for sure.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
I don't know if I've mentioned this on pod before, but some Cam Walsh lore is that my dad built me a loft in my room when I was a kid. So probably like 11, 12-ish. I had a loft in my room. So fresh wood smell was in my room for a while. And like right after he built the loft, I went to a friend's house for a sleepover. And we watched Paranormal Activity, the original. And it horrified me. I couldn't sleep the next day. Like I truly like was I couldn't sleep that night, but like couldn't sleep for the next week. And now the smell of wood kind of takes me back to that fear. And I don't like it. It hurts. That's unfortunate. So the fresh smell of wood takes me back to the fear of Paranormal Activity, but that movie scared the shit out of me as a child, a young almost teen. Yeah,
that shit is.
I think I watched that on a sleepover. That was like a very much a sleepover film.
Oh, definitely a sleepover movie for sure. I can't remember it vividly, but I gotta assume it's not that scary because it's a lot of like cameras of like bed sheets getting pulled and stuff. Like I can't.
That should be a future Real Talk draft. Best movies to watch at a sleepover with the homies,
with the brothers.
I think that'd be top. That'd be up there for sure. I don't know if that's the best, but it's a classic.
Blue Mountain State, the movie's up there.
Yeah. I'm so on that. Oh shit, man.
What's your final pick, George?
All right, final pick. I mean, I'm between a couple. I don't know if like I think this draft would just be incomplete without the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think that is
I was thinking that
so fucking frightening. But like not in like a traditional scary kind of way, just in like it makes me so uncomfortable to watch.
It makes me itchy, you know?
Yeah, it literally like makes me like itchy in my own skin. So I'll take Texas Chainsaw and I'll wrap up my draft.
You feel like you need like a shower after you've watched it.
Yeah, like dude, that's what I'm saying. Rewatch House of the Thousand Corpses because that was the exact same feeling I had after. That's such a perfect way to put it. Like I feel like I needed a shower.
Yeah, I will. I'll watch it.
I feel like our drafts is very incomplete without The Exorcist, but I haven't seen it, so I can't pick up The Exorcist here. But like just Googling, that's like the top of every list. But I'll just go Suspiria, the OG, the whatever.
That's a creepy film.
77?
Creepy film.
Wow.
77?
Yeah, I think it's 77. That was a creepy film. It's a creepy film for sure.
Dario Argento. I'll just put that in there.
I mean, listen, I'm a resident Luca hater, but I think the new Suspiria is, I don't know if it's better than Dario's, but I think it's scarier.
Interesting.
I actually found the original scariest, to be honest.
I find the original scarier, but
it's scary.
What's
Don't
better
get
and
me
what's
wrong.
not up to interpretation. I can see why people would like the Luca more. I personally like the original one more, but they're different. Because like
we might be having this conversation in like 3 years with American
It's kind of the
Psycho.
same thing he's doing with American Psycho, whereas like he didn't remake Suspiria, he just like adapted the novel.
Reimagined.
So it's like interesting. But read through these picks.
But yeah, that's scariest movies. We should honestly, what we should have done is done like our best horror movies draft and then our scariest and see how they compare, see if there's like how much overlap. But
I wouldn't have any overlap.
Yeah, I don't think there would be a lot of overlap on mine. But yeah, Seth took The Descent, Wreck, Ringu, Inland Empire, and Host. Cam took Hereditary, The Nun, The Conjuring 2, It Chapter 2, and Paranormal Activity. I myself took Sinister, Pulse, The Blair Witch Project, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And Tyler took The Conjuring, It Follows, Evil Dead, It, and Dario Argento's Suspiria. And It.
Spooky films.
27. Which It did we decide
2017.
on? 2017's It is the one.
Bad movie.
Stop. That movie's so good. That movie's
I like
so
them
good.
Not to say.
I love the found footage representation on our draft. Those are fucking frightening.
Paranormal Activity count as found footage.
Yeah.
Footage.
Yeah. No, wait, what? Wait,
that's like
It's being recorded. Like it's being recorded.
Yeah, that's found
so,
footage.
That is found footage.
I always thought I've never seen any found footage other than Paranormal Activity, so I always assume found footage. Is like,
Cloverfield.
Never seen Cloverfield.
Oh,
we did it on the
scary.
Oh, you're not on it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Can you watch Blair Witch tonight?
No, most certainly
Don't
not.
bother.
I'll watch the Bent Neck Lady, so I'm doing like some horror.
How are you watching that, but you won't watch any of
Because
that?
the Bent Neck Lady is like actually
Dude,
good.
it's so
What
good,
you
but
guys
it's
talk
so
about
scary. It's
Do you know how
talk
many
about stuff.
horror films we recommend that are good? You just
they all
won't watch?
those all suck. Those all suck. They're all bad. They're all mid.
all right, let's move on.
I got a lot to do today. I gotta head out. I guess get some rooms painted and some tile grouted and such. So I will see y'all.
All right, we will see you, Cam. Love your costume. Love you.
Yeah.
Watch Blair Witch. Watch Blair Witch tonight. Thank you.
Don't watch Blair Witch.
Yeah.
You know, movie's overrated. That I guess it's technically not a horror according to what Hulu classifies it as, but I did not care for Ready or Not. I thought that was like aggressively.
come
I don't
on,
like
man.
Ready or Not.
You
can't
did not.
George likes Ready
You
or
could
Not.
have gone all episode without saying that. There was no need to bring that one up. That
I don't
movie
like
is
Ready or
so good.
Was it a no? It was definitely like a theatrical release, right? It just feels like such a Netflix movie where it's like silly plot. It's fine. Samara Weaving's really good. I'll give it that.
So good. I love that movie. I think that movie is just so much fun. And Grace, Samara Weaving's character, genuinely like. I don't think she's my favorite final girl, but she would be very high on my rank.
Did you draft her on your?
Yeah, I drafted her on my final girls for last year.
She is iconic as final girl in that.
Yeah,
so many so many gross moments in that movie. Like
so
many things that get stabbed into her.
It's so good, man.
I always
Such
see
a
that
good
gif on
movie.
Twitter, with her like sat on like stairs, whatever at the end. That's like constant.
With a cigarette.
So good.
Yeah.
But all right, let's move on. We're gonna do our Q&A first, which we were gonna release as its own episode, but we figured we would just squeeze it into our main pod episode as a part of our Halloween special to give everyone just like listening just a bit of everything in this episode. And then after our Q&A, we'll wrap up with one more fun draft. We're gonna do 10. Or we're going to do 5. We'll do 5 rounds. The worst horror movies draft. We talk a lot about fantastic horror movies, obviously, and our draft of the scariest horror movies were all fantastic films. So let's shit on some movies, but let's do Q&A. So Tyler, I'll throw that over to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Q&A. Let's go into this thing. We got a lot of great submissions. Starting with Sean Connolly. There's a accent over the A. So Sean, I don't know if it's just Sean. Cool.
Yeah,
Sean Connolly, try my best.
Yeah, sure.
If you could choose only one movie for the rest of your life to watch, you can't watch anything else other than this movie, what movie would you pick and why?
That's such an insane question to start with. I mean, it would have to be a movie with, like, for me personally, just insane rewatch value. And maybe it's just because it's like the one movie that's just been on my mind a lot this year. But like
Don't
Top
you
Gun
dare say
Maverick.
Rob Zombie's. Okay.
No. Top Gun. No way on Rob Zombie's Halloween. It probably Top Gun Maverick feels like the easiest pick. You know, it just has so much rewatchability. So
Wait, what was
I'll
the
go with-
question?
just if you could pick one movie,
You
to
can only
watch
watch
the rest
one
of your
movie the
life.
rest of your life. What movie is it?
Jesus Christ. Lord of the Rings. Easy. Tomorrow.
But you only get one.
Yeah, but which one?
Oh, shit. No, but I consider them one.
No, it doesn't matter what you
All
can.
right, it's got to be three then. For me, it's got to be three.
The third one.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the logical choice for which one to pick out of
Obviously.
the three. Fellowship's good vibes though. I think the craziest of the three to pick is the only one would be the Two Towers.
Yeah.
You got to pick either one.
Well,
or
I
three.
think that
No,
Fellowship
you
has an
can-
argument. Like Fellowship has an argument to the best. I mean, they all do. But like, I want the happy. I don't want to see Boromir die every day. Like, what the fuck am I gaining from that? You know, I want to see the happy
true.
end. That's the thing.
I mean, listen, some people might want to watch the Battle of Helm's Deep on repeat.
Well, I mean, I do. I have to.
Yeah,
I
I
do.
can see people.
Yeah, that's fair.
It has to be something that's insanely rewatchable more so than like something you still should love it, but it has to be something that just never really gets old. For me, what's a movie that I rewatch? I mean, I was gonna say La La Land, but that's like a really depressing choice to have. I'll probably go
Yeah.
About Time then, because it's like up there with La La Land, but I feel like I'd be less.
No, I am crying
Equally
every
as depressing.
fucking day.
Yeah, but it leaves
Bro,
you
that
on a good.
beach
It
scene
leaves you on a
every day.
happy note. It leaves you.
Yeah,
on a
yeah,
happy note.
okay.
It puts you through the
When he's
cycle of
saying like
emotion.
bye to his dad, like that, I'm not watching.
Oh
that
no,
every
that's
day.
like the saddest scene ever.
Yeah, that's all time.
when they play
sadness.
ping pong and the dad's like, "Oh, this is the day, Han." Ooh,
Yeah, that is
brutal. But
Yeah.
it leaves you happier. La La Land leaves you sadder. But I
Yes.
mean, I could go Boyhood too, but I like About Time more, so I'll go About Time and just cry all the time. Natalia Hayden asked, who are your favorite three actresses? Which is gonna be kind of tough for me to do off rip.
Oh
But let's
man,
do the three
off
first that come up.
rip. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, I've got them. We've answered this before.
Well,
haven't we?
yours is gonna be Tilda,
Olivia Colman.
Olivia Colman.
Who would be your third?
Liv Ullmann. She's the one who always collaborates.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my like easy three. I think Tilda's my favorite worker today. She might be my favorite actor in general.
Yeah.
Today. We're still there.
I still throw out Amy Adams. I still throw out Frances McDormand.
Yeah, watch Night.
Um,
And then we'll
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Night Pitch, so whatever.
see. Yeah, she's
um,
actually around.
Saoirse Ronan, I mean, she could just do no wrong. I love her. Maggie Chung can do no wrong. I love her. I don't know if I can narrow it down to three. Like a top three without Viola Davis feels criminal. Who else? Sigourney Weaver could be up there.
Sigourney Weaver's not in enough that I love, to be fair, though.
I think, but what she's in that I love her so much. Like I love her in Alien. Yeah, that'd probably
She
be
plays
my...
like a 10-year-old in Avatar 2 or whatever. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go for me. It'd be Rachel McAdams, Saoirse Ronan, and Emma Stone.
Yeah, that's a good pull. I feel like I'm missing someone. Kate Hudson, that's who I'm missing. Kate Hudson's up there for me. Love her way too much.
What Jay, aka Marcel, asked, what movie do you think about the most that you don't have rated at a 5-star?
That is a great question.
I'll start with this one because this
is
one, and
a
I've
good
only seen it
question.
once, and I saw it like 3 years ago. But this movie's in my head once every 3 days, so I don't know why I haven't rewatched it or raised my rating. But The Worst Person in the World, I don't know why that movie
That's an
is
interesting
in my
one.
head every 3 days for the past 3 years, and I still haven't
That's,
rewatched it.
no, I get that one.
I don't know why it's so rent free in my head, so maybe I need to rewatch it.
I think about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood like a good bit. I think about the Batman a good bit as well.
Because you want to go protect the city.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think if there's like a standout, I guess, I think about all time. To be honest, Shrek 2 is probably up there. Pirates of the Caribbean, maybe that could be up there. I'm just trying to think of see if there's like a real, standout.
I mean, you're just naming a bunch of 5-star movies, dude.
Sorry. Let me see. Oh man, it's tricky.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me, I mean, I think about a lot. I think like I think about I saw the TV glow a lot.
That's a good one, actually. Yeah,
That's not a 5. I thought that was a 5 for you.
It was, and then I lowered it on a rewatch. I think when I rewatch it, it'll be back up to a 5.
Can I say queer, or is that kind of cheating?
I mean,
you know,
it's been 2 days.
You don't think about it that much if you've only seen it for
2 days. Yeah.
No,
What else? I mean, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, the first one. I think about that a lot.
The Muppets Christmas Carol. Oh no, George. Actually, this is a good one. In the Mouth of Madness, I think about quite a lot. Like a lot.
That's a good one.
I don't know why. I think about that a lot. I see that. I need to raise that. Actually, to be fair.
I mean, horror movies that are not 5. Like, I mean, Jennifer's Body. I've been thinking about a lot just because I rewatched it recently. Evil Dead Rise, obviously, I think about all the time.
Evil Dead 2, I think.
I'm going to be honest. Listen. I know this movie was not necessarily well received by a lot of people, but Longlegs. I have not stopped thinking about Longlegs since I watched that movie.
Alien Covenant, but we did recently do an Alien episode, so that kind of
we did do.
I've just mentioned like every film I've ever.
I think about a lot of movies all the time.
I don't know, man. Like any of those, like
they're all
bad. I reference Superbad a lot, so that kind of counts, you know.
Superbad's just a 5-star movie, though.
Yeah.
What Caden Sullivan asked, favorite underrated movie score? Like, what's a movie score you like to listen to or you love? That, like, people don't bring up all the time.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say I like listen to this often because I just rewatched the movie last night. But Sinister, I could not stop thinking about how just good that, and it's like it's nothing flashy. It just works to like what we're seeing. It just plays to like this story of like this hybrid found footage, author detective film so well. The entire time I was watching that movie, I was like, dude, this music is so fucked up good.
Underrated.
Like I don't listen to that a lot, obviously. Like,
I don't
I'm going
listen
to now, but
I don't listen to score. But I mean, it's like Furiosa is not underrated score, is it?
No, Furiosa is such a good score.
People speak about score of Furiosa though.
Not really, honestly. So I wouldn't hate.
I speak about that shit all the time.
I think that's but you like. I mean, like just general, like Twitter and whatever. I think the Furiosa was like my hero of the year. So like, but then that feels like one.
Probably my second favorite of the year. Obviously, Dune is one, but.
I wish I could search. I wish you could search your Letterboxd reviews like you could like a Word document or something. Because I hate nothing's coming to my mind for this. Although I know it for a fact, there's at least like 10 reviews I've probably written in my life where I'm like, no one ever talks about this, but this score. Is, like,
Pirates of the Caribbean. No,
I mean that's not underrated.
Just a copycat of Gladiator score.
Is like Oblivion.
No, I'm joking.
Oblivion is so good. I could throw out like the Blue Planet 2. That's phenomenal. Hacksaw Ridge has a really fantastic score. Honestly, I'm right now just scrolling through my movies X Gym playlist and see like what comes up.
In the Mouth of Madness is a really good, actually really good. That could be an argument.
I mean, phenomenal score from an underrated, unappreciated masterpiece is Justin Hurwitz's Babylon score. People talk about that movie all the time. I'm genuinely stunned at how little people talk about that.
People never talk about that score.
Like that score is
Tyler doesn't mention it more often. To be fair,
no. Tyler mentions the movie, but a lot of people don't mention the score.
Yeah,
like that score is phenomenal. I'll throw out a hot take, and this is going to be like a haha, but I'm like being 100% serious. Lorne Balfe's Black Adam score has some bangers.
I can't remember it. I can't remember anything about Black Adam. It's like one of those films.
I barely remember the movie, but that score has some fucking bangers.
Ferrari, I love that score.
Vangelis' Blade Runner score or the OG Blade Runner.
Blade Runner score is great.
No, the OG.
I don't know. People speak about
that's still up there.
Yeah, that's still there. I'll go in the Mouth of Madness again just so I can like double it up because I love that score. So I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
I mean, I throwing out Harry Potter is dumb. Obviously, very notable score, but
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. I love that score.
No, but I think Lord of the Rings can play into what I was about to say about Harry Potter, where I feel like the scores themselves are underappreciated, but people know
Harry Potter score.
People know the themes. People love the themes, like Hedwig's theme, Lily's theme, Sirius's theme. People know the themes, but there are so many like tracks on.
Depends on the film, though.
Like
as well.
Deathly Hollows has so many awesome tracks, like Courtyard Apocalypse and Statues and Dragonflight, and like no one knows. People know like Dumbledore's Farewell. People know Harry and Hermione, like these like very prominent themes. But like I feel like the remainder of the soundtrack, not the soundtracks, the remainder of the scores just go underappreciated. But like obviously John Williams crafted an all-time theme, and that's obviously like not underrated by any means.
Oh, Dunkirk. Right, people talk about that, don't they? No,
Dunkirk's great.
People talk about that.
Dara Cassidy asked, so rapid fire, does each of us pick one show that you consider perfect? First one comes to mind.
One show, Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but fine, I'll just say Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I mean Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I said one, George.
Oh, okay. Pardon me, dog. Damn.
Mark asks, who has met each other and when do you think everyone will meet? So George and Seth have met in London.
A lot. People ask that.
Cam and me have met in Arizona. Me and George have met in New York City, and that's it, right?
And I haven't met Cam. Yeah,
I haven't met Cam either.
Seth hasn't met Cam. I haven't met Seth.
That's so crazy.
George, you might be meeting me though, Tyler.
I might be, yeah. So
and if you go there, I'm coming, just so you know.
Yeah. But Cam definitely wouldn't be coming then, I would guess. So I don't know. I'm probably like one of our weddings, maybe if we can all make it out to one of those, it'd probably be the first time we all meet. We all are in the same place at the same time.
And we'll look sick as fuck too.
Yeah, we'll do a live stream recording of the wedding. Give it a rating on Letterboxd.
That'd be jokes. George Carmi's wedding, 4.5 out of 5.
Also, we'll do external. He's been on the episode. I've met Alex, so that kind of
I've met Alex.
You basically live.
Yeah, I see Alex often, all the time. Soups I've met. He's awesome.
Soups I nearly met. I don't know if that counts. Probably not.
Yeah, I met nobody.
He's American. Yeah. Oh, I've met Anthony from Raiders.
Oh yeah, the Raiders boys I met.
I
was on their podcast in person. I always forget I did that 2 years ago.
I don't know if I've met any other Americans.
I was in the studio with the Raiders boys doing our Harry Potter special.
Have I met any other Raiders boys?
No. When would you have?
Wait, did I say Raiders? I mean, have I met any of the other Americans?
Seth, I'm going back to our underrated score question. I haven't even seen this movie, but I do listen to the score every so often. That's Danny Elfman's Hulk from Ang Lee's movie.
Nice.
Yeah, that score comes on shuffle every so often.
You need to rewatch the film as well, mate. That's what you need to do.
I mean, I need to watch the film. I've never seen it.
Oh, you like the score?
I just said that. I said I've never seen the movie, but I do the score quite often.
Okay, yeah, watch the film. It's so good.
I gotta watch it.
Ewan Hall asks, do you think there are any actors working right now that pull more people into cinemas than Christopher Nolan does as a director?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
No.
I mean, not
Killers of the Flower Moon. Like I think I don't think anyone more than Christopher Nolan.
No, it's a no
box office hit. But yeah, the answer is probably no.
I think Oppenheimer sealed it because like that was like Nolan's least likely to like bang at the box office, and it did. So like at this point, I think he's
I don't think there's anyone close at this point. Honestly,
he fills seats more than anyone in the world, except like James Cameron.
Who's Esco Ryberg asked, who's a director you would like to see explore a new genre? For example, Christopher Nolan with horror. And
I was
include that example because everyone else.
I was just about to say Christopher Nolan with horror.
But what do we think for something?
Let's do a different one because
you took those words right out.
I was going to say that one as well before you said that. So let's do a different one. Scorsese religious film. That would be cool. We should make one of those.
Yeah. I think Scorsese should make a Jesus movie.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Who could I see?
Hey, George Miller with comedy.
Miller with comedy.
He's not done like. I mean, Furiosa's funny.
Furiosa's funny. Yeah,
but I mean, like
Dementis has his moments for sure.
Speaking of comedy, I want to see Jordan Peele give me a coming of age comedy. He obviously has that in his bag. But as a director, he's only done horror. I want to see him tackle comedy.
Maybe, Oh, this is tricky. Yeah, I'll go with that. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, Nolan horror is like the first one that comes to mind.
Oh no, actually, James
Um,
Cameron would like. James Cameron's never done a horror per se, and I fucking love that.
Yes,
Has he
what are
done
you
horror?
talking about?
What am I thinking?
James, Aliens?
That's not horror.
Oh, come on, that's
Alien,
horror.
nah, Aliens is sci-fi action.
action horror.
It still
There
would
is-
be classified as horror, but like, yeah, I mean, Aliens.
No,
is
I
more
no, but
than
I mean like
Aliens.
like true
you know.
horror. Yeah,
I mean, you could maybe consider Terminator 1 as well, the first one. But I mean like horror, like actually
yeah.
soul focus. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Well, this is kind of topical based on what we have been talking about. Graham McDonald asked, which horror villain could you easily take out? And we're not going to include Chucky.
Chuck. Oh,
okay.
dude, stop doing that. Stop taking away my answer. What horror villain could I take out? What horror villain?
One of the
could I
It
take
Follows people. Let's see. Art the
out?
Clown. Nah, Chad.
No, Art the Clown fucks me up, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, Chucky's such an easy answer. Like, what?
I'd take out
horror-
Bruce because I'd just like shoot him from the beach.
Yeah,
Stop popping him.
put a gun in my hand, and that shark is deceased.
Easy.
Um,
Maybe let me see.
What horror?
Long
villain?
legs? I'd fuck him up differently.
Mm.
No,
and
you're not.
Long Legs,
You're not
one
being
on
a
one.
supernatural entity, man.
Pearl,
Um,
I'm taking on Pearl. Pearl's got nothing on me.
Oh,
yeah, Pearl's
shit,
Pearl's
yeah.
not doing shit against me.
Dodge the first axe swing and you're in the clear.
Yeah, you're fine.
You
fine.
got
Maybe-
reflexes like that though.
Who knows?
Ooh.
Depends on which version. If we're doing like X Pearl, where she's like what 80 years old, then I'm fine. But if it's
older than 80.
Pearl,
I don't know.
I don't know. A lot of these I'm looking at on my list are like, yeah, I would have.
Yeah,
trouble
I'm not taking
taking
out Godzilla. It's like
Honestly, I don't know. I'm just built different. I might take out Godzilla.
I could probably take out some of the ghost faces for sure.
I was literally just about to say, I was going to
Yeah,
agree.
some
Yeah,
of the
some of them,
ghost
they're just like
faces
normal
are
people,
The ghost
Jigsaw,
faces-
no shot.
I think I could take Ethan Hawke in Black Phone for real.
I was looking at that too. I could, but there is that one scene where he's like sitting there breathing with his shirt off, and he's kind of jacked. So
He's
True,
large
actually.
in that movie, man. I mean, I'm fucking up the Blair Witch. I'm not losing to her. She's not getting in my head, bro.
and fucking up the beach and old.
I was going to bring that. Yeah,
Oh, that was funny. That was a good one. If there's one xenomorph, I'm winning. I think.
No.
If I had a gun, if I had a gun,
Fuck out of here, man.
hand-to-hand combat, I'm cooked. But if I had a gun and there was only one of them, I'm winning, no doubt.
I could beat one of the strangers, like one of the masked people. It's just the guys in.
Yeah,
masks.
I was gonna say you're next too. Like I think I don't think I maybe not beat all of them, but I think 1v1
But then
I like my
Are we
chances.
kind of cheating by giving ourselves guns for everyone?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Put a gun in my hand and like put me in an open field with a gun and a singular tree, and I don't think any horror villain beats me.
What about Godzilla?
Like an
Godzilla.
open field. Well, Godzilla, yeah, I'm talking normal size, not Godzilla, but put me in like an open field with a knife or a gun and one tree. I'm too agile.
I don't know.
I'm
I couldn't shoot.
I'm moving way too quickly for them to get around me.
All right, final question of the Q&A we'll go through today. Jacob Finley asked, what's the largest animal you could kill with your bare hands if you're in a UFC arena? Animal knows it has to fight to the death, and there's no humans or fish.
Okay, let's just get this out of the way. If either of you say like a chimp or a monkey,
No,
or actually, you could do a monkey. No, a
they're
monkey you
killing
could.
quick.
A monkey you could, but people like say chimps, and I'm like, nah, let's chill.
I think a
gorilla,
deer
on the
you
other
could, a buck
A
you could
gorilla.
not.
No.
The
Man,
largest
it's tough.
animal?
I could take like a fucking big dog. No, I couldn't actually. Like a
No, I'd rather take a deer than a
You
dog.
up. Yeah, I'd rather take a
big
deer.
dog. I can take a dog.
Dude, the biggest animal? I don't know, bro. Rabbits, I'd fuck up.
A cow versus a bull.
Nah,
No, like
You could
cow-
No,
probably,
a bull,
could
no.
probably, like you could
Do
probably
cows
topple a
move?
cow.
Like, do cows move quickly?
You could
Yeah,
probably
that's the
topple
thing.
a cow. You could like
what's
push
the
a cow
max-
over.
Hold on.
I think you could get. I'm gonna say I could kill a cow in bare hands. Like actually, like pretty.
UFC cage too makes it interesting because cow doesn't have much like.
Oh,
it's pretty
dude,
big, can't
cow-
turn well.
Cows can run
Cow-
on average 17 miles per hour. We're not
That
beating
doesn't matter.
in a
They'll
cage,
just run
though,
into a cage. I'm just gonna get like
What do you mean
start
in a
body
cage?
shotting.
We're in a UFC cage is what the
We're in an
prompt is.
octagon.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I'm
A
not beating a
cow-
cow if it's like
I
open
still am
field.
questionable about a cow because if they
cow-
step
maybe
on
like-
me, it's game over.
Maybe like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all a cow has to do is like body me, and also a cow is not dying to like 2 or 3 knife stabs or a punch.
No,
Oh,
we
you
haven't
don't
got no. Maybe I'd fuck up a goat or something. I could take a goat.
The
Yeah,
problem is
although-
none of the, we're not punch assassinating any of these animals. Like
I mean, I think I could punch a goat.
one punch to a deer's face is doing nothing.
You
to
could
them.
choke them out though. I think
Yeah,
sheep,
you're
would be
really
easy.
naked.
Sheep have so much stuff to grab onto. They're just really not optimal to face in a wrestling
Yeah.
match. 'Cause you could just take them down, just grab it.
Biggest animal I could be. Okay.
What about an
Maybe like
anaconda?
I could fuck up a frog. And what is that? Like,
Well,
that
yeah.
is a goose. Or I don't
Yeah,
know,
I think I'll
actually.
say deer. I'm gonna say with deer is my biggest one that I could get to.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say a bear.
Stop.
Or a gorilla.
Okay,
as well.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, I'll
George,
say
what's your final lock here?
I'll say like I think a deer is pretty good, or like a goose or something.
Mhm.
I'll take like a goose, you know, or they are scary.
Forgetting some animals.
I think when we go, but when you get up, like you're talking, like kangaroo would fuck you up differently. You've seen size of some of them. Like a chimp would fuck you up. A big
Yeah,
dog, most big dogs would easily
Dude,
kill you.
a chimp is beating the fuck out of us.
It'll rip your eyes. Yeah, most
Oh
big
my
dogs
God.
are gonna kill you.
I've seen Nope enough times to know that I'm not beating a chimp.
True. I can't think of any others I could beat, honestly. A boar. Can I beat a boar?
I
Like a
love
little
that this is the
bird?
question we spent the most time on, trying to figure out what we're
If they have like
beating.
if the boars have like those tusks, don't they? They can,
Yeah, we're not
Oh,
beating
Bore
a
you.
boar.
Yeah, but I could.
You're not.
No,
Don't say
essentially-
you're not grabbing onto the tusks, dude. You're not doing that.
Thank you to our
No,
patrons that submitted all these questions. You want to join our Q&A for
If
next month?
if a boar is like knee level and runs at you, I could just knee him in the face. Flying knee. Like I don't know, man. He's perfect size for it. You know, he's right there. Okay,
Alright,
but yeah,
let's-
a medium-sized dog or a deer
That was funny.
Deer's
All right, let's move on. We're doing worst horror movies ever. We've had some fun talking best horror movies. We had a fun. No, we're gonna do 5 rounds. 10 is too much.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 is too much. It was 10 originally when I thought that was gonna be the only thing we were gonna do on this
Gotcha,
episode,
yeah.
honestly. But yeah, last week we did a fun 10-round draft where we had like final girls picked. We had TV shows, movies, weapons. So if you want to go see a fun horror draft, go watch that. We've praised a lot of horror over the last couple of weeks, but now it's time to shit on some because that's also fun. So I have the first pick, Tyler 2, Seth 3. I am going with the worst horror movie I've ever seen, and it's the worst. It's probably the second worst movie I've seen this year, and that is Alice in Terrorland. Absolutely devastatingly horrific movie. Really, really bad.
Okay.
I'll stick with the theme of like childhood fables turned horror, and we'll go Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Which I still haven't seen the second one. I heard it's better.
Yeah, I heard the second one's not bad, actually.
I'll go Robert, which is a Netflix release that the Discord
What?
made me watch. It's really bad. It's just called Robert. There's about 8 films of them.
Okay.
And then I will go for. Either of you guys watch the Netflix original, The Open House, from a few years ago? It's got the
No.
guy from 13 Reasons Why in it. It's horrific in every way. So that's my pick.
What is it called?
The Open House. The Open House.
I'll go with another Discord recommendation. The Ginger Dead Man.
No, that was not even that bad.
Dude.
How dare you?
What are these movies we're pulling out of our ass right now?
Wait, weren't you on that episode, George?
I don't
You were.
think so. I don't remember that.
Oh, did-
Gingerbread
was it just-
Man?
Ginger
Was it
Dead
me?
Man.
Ginger
just me,
Dead
Tyler?
Man? That's
Oh no, it was me,
crazy
Tyler, and
title.
Cam. It was me, Tyler.
Yeah.
And
Oh my goodness. All right, I got back-to-backs. I gotta go with the Bye Bye Man.
Yeah, that's
that
bad.
that shit was tough to sit through. I'm not gonna lie. That was a tough movie to get through. And then on my turnaround, I'm gonna go with an Eli Roth film starring Keanu Reeves and Ana de Armas, Knock Knock. That's just
I hate that film so much.
that was so bad, man. That film was
I hate that film.
so insane.
Don't a lot of people really like it?
No, I hope not.
I hope not.
I thought Owen like loves it.
Yeah,
Well,
but
yeah,
Owen would love it.
Yeah, Owen would love it. He likes
Actually, no, Owen, yeah, he does. Of course, he does. Everyone I follow is like 1.5.
Yeah.
1.5. Owen's like 4. Yeah, I get it. I respect
Big
it.
Eli Roth guy. He's a big Eli Roth
Big
guy.
Eli Roth guy. I respect it.
Okay, my next pick, I will go. Well, one movie I know that George, you said you might rewatch Skinamarink. I'm curious to see what your thoughts, because I was wondering if you're gonna draft it, but I think you might be.
I'm not gonna draft it. I do want to rewatch it.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's gonna help, honestly. I really don't, but I do want to give it like a second chance.
Mhm. I'm gonna go Vivarium, just because what's crazier than bringing up Vivarium twice in one day? Bringing up Vivarium 3 times in one day. Jesse Eisenberg leaving a legacy.
Oh, sorry.
Seth, back to back.
I'll go with. Oh yeah. I'll go with I'm gonna put like a new one in there just to I'll go with The Exorcist Believer from last year.
Oh, I still haven't seen that one.
Don't. It's fucking.
Yeah, I
awful.
mean, I don't plan on it after your
It's like-
reviews, but
it surpasses bad. It's like offensive. It's in every way. It's such a fucking horrible piece of shit. And then I will also go for talk about offensive piece of shit. I Spit on Your Grave. I can't fucking stand those films. Just go with 2010. Put I Spit on Your Grave bracket 2010.
have you seen all of them?
No, I've just seen. I didn't know. Is there like more? I've just seen the original. There's like the original, then the remake, and I think one of the sequels. When I was younger. They're horrible.
Yeah, I don't. I'm good on
Horrible.
that.
Horrible. Pick Terrifier so we can get some like bait views from TikTok.
I mean, my
I would have
next,
I'd seen it.
yeah, my next
pick it anyway,
picks are
though.
probably going to be a little baity, but I do
Yeah, I'll
think
do
they
it,
suck.
I'll do
But
Okay, fine. If we're going baity, maybe I should pick a bait pick.
I've got a baity one, don't worry. So.
Fine. Like I give it a 1.5 star. Not the worst ever, but it's a little. Oh no, perfect. I got a baity one. Maybe George was already thinking it's Five Nights at Freddy's.
oh, that
Yeah,
was my next
that was
pick.
good.
Yeah, that was my next pick. Damn.
My
Good
two
call,
nephews
good call.
love that movie. They're deep in the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I'm like,
I
damn,
mean,
I did
yeah.
not.
I mean, everyone that likes it is a child.
Yeah, fair.
Respectfully.
Yeah, and they're like child. They're like first grade, third grade. So like, yeah.
Damn, that was my next pick. Fuck. All right, I'm gonna go. The Human Centipede, and I'll just go with the first one. I don't even think I've seen 2 or 3, honestly.
I was gonna say because I feel like
the
first one, like some people can at least say it's fine, but then the second and third is when
No,
it gets,
the
like,
third
insane.
one
Yeah.
is like the worst film ever made.
Is that
Is that the
third
prison one?
Yeah. It's awful.
There's something about that makes me want to. I feel like it's like a cultural thing. I have to at least see once, you know.
Have you not watched? Well, I don't know why you would.
No, I feel like the Human Centipede is like
Well,
all
look
you
at-
talk about movies you watch with bros and sleepover. I feel like that's all time like
That was
as a kid,
yeah.
There's
That's
that
why
one
I'm
kid in
surprised
school
you
like you
haven't
have to
watched
watch this messed up movie.
That's why I'm surprised you haven't watched it because that was like a
Um,
big like sleepover, like teenage speak about
Mhm.
it, kind of like you haven't watched Human Centipede, sort of film. You know?
All right, and then
Okay.
my final pick, I'm gonna go with the Cloverfield Paradox.
Wow.
Dude, fuck that movie.
Oh wait,
Holy
never mind. Okay, I haven't seen that. I thought it was
Yeah.
10 Cloverfield Lane. Which
No, I like 10 Cloverfield Paradox. Dumpster fire, dude.
Shout out John Goodman.
And
Oh,
that's
he's
the one
also
that was the
Whitmore.
Super Bowl one,
Yeah.
right? That like they just like had a commercial at the Super Bowl. Like, by the way, this movie drops tonight. And it was like a surprise, I think.
Oh really?
Maybe. 'Cause
Oh
Cloverfield's
no,
always
no,
been
I remember
pretty
hearing about this. No, I think you're right. It's terrible, by the way. It's awful.
Yeah.
I hate
My final pick, I will go with
Bait.
Okay, find a bait one. All right. Well, people like this, I think.
Beatty, The Happening.
I mean, that's not what I would ever pick, but
Yeah, I know.
you know, we're on a Shout out Bumhouse, Megan, worst theater experience of my life. Number one Blumhouse hater right here.
I mean, everyone is a Blumhouse hater now.
Yeah, good.
Everyone should be.
Seth's final pick.
I will finish it off with arguably the worst found footage film ever, The Blair Witch Project.
Oh, stop. Do not write that down, Tyler.
No, get it down.
Nope. See ya. Absolutely not. I have access to this. Doc too. Nope. Can you at least
put it back?
Can you at least pick the sequel? Just pick Blair Witch. Pick 2. Just pick the.
No.
Bro,
that's better.
I cannot believe we're doing a worst horror movie draft ever, and the Blair Witch. Oh my god, dude, this movie changed the game.
Yeah, it changed the game for the worst. Do you know what? Actually, it was good, George, because it started the found footage trend.
Don't started
it. You know, like how
you don't deserve to defend this movie.
You know how Cam watches like the worst film at the start of the year to make everything better. That's what Blair Witch did for found footage. That's what we're talking.
Boo!
So I respect you for that.
Boo you!
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
God, what a way.
I do have it at 1.5.
What a way to ruin you just ruined the remainder of my 2024.
I had to get a little bassy one. I do have it at 1.5. Is what it is.
All right. We got worst horror movies ever draft. George with the first pick took Barry Lyndon, The Return of the King, Fanny and Alexander, all of Seth's favorite movies.
I didn't realize you put that first one.
No, I took Alice in Terrorland, The Bye-Bye Man, Knock Knock, The Human Centipede 1, and The Cloverfield Paradox. Tyler took Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, The Ginger Dead Man, Vivarium, Five Nights at Freddy's, and Megan. And Seth took Robert, The Open House, The Exorcist Believer, and I Spit on Your Grave. That'll wrap up our
worst. Final one, I think. Wasn't that one after that?
We'll move on. We got some trailers and news. Kind of just things we got to fly through. I mean, there's not really too much to talk about, but I'm sure there's some stuff that we will discuss. We got our first look at Crypto in James Gunn's Superman Legacy, Crypto the dog. People are shitting. Dude, people are shitting on the casting of a dog now. I don't get it. Like
that was crazy.
I was on about Clayface.
Like it's a fucking dog, bro.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was great. That's when I didn't think James Gunn haters could get this is like the highest where they're literally like, wow, what an ugly dog.
Isn't it his dog as well?
It's a cute dog. Fuck you if you're making fun of it.
It wasn't his. It was like I think it was like based on his or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
It's just like people are so. We said this on last week's episode. People are so quick to shit on anything James Gunn is doing in the DCU without even seeing.
Joker 2 is so bad. James Gunn fumbled.
Yeah, like not even his project.
What do we mean?
But even more within James Gunn's universe, we got first looks and a trailer for Creature Commando, where we did get a nice look at Clayface. Seth, there you go. There's your Clayface. I told you. I told you James Gunn was doing it. Looks good. Creature Commando is going to be like the first official project in James Gunn's DCU. So it needs to succeed, I think, even though it's an animated television show. I think this needs to succeed. So I'm a little nervous. Otherwise, people are just going to like run rampant on like, oh, Creature Commando sucks, which means Superman Legacy is going to suck, even though one's a live action movie and another one's an animated TV show. It just needs to succeed for the discourse. Like I'm praying it does. We got another trailer to Arcane Season 2, which, again, I'm the only one on this pod that's seen Arcane Season 1. I need you guys to watch it.
Season 1.
Oh, have you?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say. I definitely would have remembered that.
Please,
man, watch it, dude. It looks so good. Season 2 looks so good. Season 1 is so good. Daredevil, we got an official release date for March 4. There have been panels, like Comic-Con panel releases of like first looks and trailers. I don't know why Marvel is not just releasing those to the public. Like, I don't know what they're so hesitant about, which is a little annoying. So like some people have seen first looks, others have not. I have not. You guys have not, obviously. So I don't know. It's a very interesting decision by like Feige and the MCU to not release these when it's been like months since the first look ever dropped. Gladiator early reactions are very positive. The movie, if you guys were worried, does have costumes and sound and visuals.
No.
Which is such an awesome, so cool.
Big news back in 1912.
I was worried I was just going to stare at a black screen for 2 hours, honestly. So shout out that guy for reminding us. Speaking of Megan, which Tyler just selected on our worst horror movies of all time draft, Megan 2.0. There was a first teaser dropped at a Comic-Con panel. It was leaked online. I didn't watch it, I'm going to be honest, because the quality was just so shit, and I just don't care for Megan. But we are getting a Megan 2.0, which is very interesting. Wolfman, we got a new trailer. I'm excited for this. I think this looks really fun. I'm excited mostly to see the practical effects done on the Wolfman. I know we got like an early look a couple weeks ago of like a dude in a costume, but I'm excited to see how it's done in the movie. Luca Guadagnino is set
to Blumhouse, though. Remember, Wolfman is Blumhouse.
Is it Blumhouse?
January release? It is a Blumhouse January.
And a January release. Oh, this is like a 2.7 average screen.
Yeah, that's tough. I didn't know, honestly. I don't know how I overlooked the Blumhouse part. Fuck. I mean, in fairness, hey, Sinister was Blumhouse, but that was a long time ago, and Blumhouse has been on a show.
It was like Get Out, but like we're past that now.
Yeah. Luca Guadagnino is set to direct a new adaptation of American Psycho at Lionsgate. Don't do that. Let's not do that.
I'm kind of excited.
I'm being serious. Movie, though.
Yeah, this isn't even me being a Luca hater. Like, this has nothing to do with Luca. This just has me I don't think it's the movie that needs to be remade. Like, no one's gonna play Patrick Bateman or that central character better than Christian Bale, and that's gonna be like,
it will be different. Like, very, very different. I think it won't be like, I don't think he'll, and I do think Luca's a cool guy to do it, and I do think it's an odd choice, but it will be.
Yeah,
I hope because a direct remake would be like fucking stupid, like really, really dumb.
I've never read the book, but I know.
I
know like Mary Herron. I think her remake wasn't super, or her original movie wasn't like super faithful to the book.
Yeah,
which isn't like a negative or positive, but I think the plan is this is gonna be more direct book adaptation. But I don't know. I haven't read the book. I know Drew Starkey, who's in Queer, had a quote recently where he's like, they like asked him what books you've been reading lately. He's like, I've been reading American Psycho. So like people are like, oh, maybe he's gonna be linked to it. A lot of people obviously throw out Jacob Elordi being in it.
That's because of that image when Coffee.
But also he just kind of fits the bill, I guess.
Of course. But I don't think he would be to be honest. Could you see him as like a Patrick Bateman-esque character? I can't really, to be honest.
I don't know. Well, like the thing about like Patrick Bateman is you have to be such a hyper masculine figure that's also very small and fragile at the same time. And, like Jacob Elordi's like 6'5". Like he's very imposing.
Looks fragile though.
Yeah, he does. But I feel like the whole point is like you try to make yourself so perfectly perfect looking, like whereas like he's just like a big dude. Like he doesn't really
and he's just like kind of naturally that guy, you know? So he's kind
of we'll see. I mean, it was one of those things where I wanted to initially be like, oh, there's another Luca project announced that's not going to follow through. But then quickly they were like, oh, there's like a script and it's been in the works for 7 months. So I guess it is actually a thing. So
he has got like four. He's got 4 now, or like 3 that he's still apparently in pre-production for, which is, I don't know.
Bro's always in the news.
Yeah, always.
We spoke about it earlier a little bit, but Christopher Nolan's next movie will not be science fiction, but some speculate that it may be in the spy espionage genre. I've also seen speculations that, maybe it is the Christopher Nolan horror movie. That
make a horror pussy. I need that shit. It's so cool.
He's got the money and he's got the awards now, so now he should just.
He can make whatever. He's been able to make whatever he's wanted for the last like decade and a half, but like now he can truly just make whatever the fuck he wants.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he built like a James? Can you imagine him doing like a James Bond? Because it's been spoken about for years and years and years.
I mean, he already kind of did it.
He did Tenet. Yeah.
No, I mean like an actual James Bond.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah. But I feel like Tenet was his way of like maybe he was trying to be. There was talks of him and he didn't. He's like, well, I have this script anyways, so we're just gonna do this.
Yeah, for sure.
First look at Sydney Sweeney as boxer Christy Martin. I mean, those pictures were crazy.
They were cool. Actually, I like that role.
She bulked up. She really like transformed into this role. I mean, we don't have anything more to go off of. We don't have any like early footage or anything, so we're just kind of going off 2 images. But I mean, it's kind of got like the vibes of an Iron Claw, which I really like that old school like wrestling
Mhm.
kind of vibe, which I'm really into. And obviously Sydney Sweeney's I wouldn't say fantastic actress, but I think she has a lot of potential.
I like her a lot, but I understand most people don't.
I don't dislike her.
I either really like her or I really don't like her. I was kind of,
Yeah.
I mean, I like her. I like what she's doing, you know? And I think this is a really cool thing to choose. That's what I'd say. So I hope it goes well. I'm quite
Yeah.
looking forward to it. It'll be cool.
And then we spoke about this a little bit earlier, but Blumhouse is partnering with MovieGen, an AI tool that can generate video clips up to 16 seconds. They released that 2.5-minute I Hate AI video, which was essentially just a 2.5-minute commercial promoting MovieGen. And like they try to make us sympathize with AI and why it's like not the worst thing in like the artistic industry. And it just came off so insanely
Tone deaf.
gross.
They
and
tried to pull it
tone deaf.
them 8 Mile to be like, I'm going to shit on myself before you can shit on me. And
Yeah,
it's like,
literally.
it did not work.
And it's getting absolutely trashed on Letterboxd.
Good.
And I mean, we've said this like several times this episode, but if you didn't like Blumhouse, then you certainly don't now. But yeah, that wraps up. That wraps up our episode. Fun little Halloween special.
Also, the Russo Brothers trailer looks like the worst.
Oh
thing
my
ever.
God! Right, I
so
forgot about
bad.
that. What was that called? The Electric State. Wow.
Sorry.
Oh, my
Wallace and
God.
Gromit teaser as well. Can I just say? Looks
Oh yeah,
peak.
sorry.
Looks so good.
I gotta watch that for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, the Electric State. It's so annoying with the Electric State because I'm seeing so much fan art on Twitter on like what the potential is with this story, and it just looks like another like Netflix shitter.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Listen, I'm hoping we're wrong. Truly, I really am.
I'm not because I want to keep hating on them. You know, it's fun.
Yeah, it's also so annoying. Like, I don't know. You have a Netflix movie with such an insanely high budget, and it just looks like shit. Like,
What's
I know the
budget?
creator. I don't know, but the creator wasn't so well received. But like that's the gold standard now for science fiction, CGI visuals and whatever.
Yeah, the budget was 320 million.
Dude, that is disgusting. Like
That's
you could
more than like an Endgame. Endgame was like 300.
That is. Oh my
That's
god!
so good. Like, give me
And the
that
crazy
money.
thing about this is like at least with Avengers, you're like, okay, these are famous actors. I
Yeah, they'll make their money.
But like
they'll get
Millie
it.
Bobby Brown's agents built like that, really? Like,
Yeah,
crazy.
so
300. Millie Bobby Brown has pulled with the Facebook
So
moments.
gross,
Like,
dude.
she, like
But-
people watch her films, you know. That's crazy.
Annoying. That's gross.
320 million.
All right, but that'll wrap up Real Talk episode 111. Shout out to our executive producers, Mr. Stefan Niebrick and Stefan Johnson. On Thursday, we are dropping a draft of our of the scariest non-horror movies. Friday, we'll drop the patron exclusive review of A Nightmare on Elm Street. And everyone else, we will see on next Monday for Real Talk episode 112. We hope you enjoyed this little Halloween horror special. We hope you enjoyed our costumes. Seth, Tyler, and Cam, who's not here anymore. As always, it's a pleasure chatting with you guys. And we will see everyone on Thursday.
Peace.
Peace.